We're like one step away from those people that sun their buttholes.
I would sun my butthole. I've tried it before. I have kind of tried it, like
Sure.
in some version. Like I was like, I wonder what that feels like. It didn't do anything for me. Like I just like downward dogged toward the sun. Caissie.
Hello, everyone. Busy and I are in the same place.
We're sitting across from each other.
Is
that obnoxious?
Really,
that wasn't great.
Well,
God.
What's the matter?
My dad is having some health things and they just went to the doctor or whatever. But my mom, hi, I'm listening to you. I mean, I know you're listening to me on the podcast right now. My mother does write text messages that sound as if it's also kind of how she talks in life sometimes when she's got like very specific things that she needs to say. She sort of like orates and writes as if she's giving like an interview for the local news.
Okay.
Like the last line of this is like, we are confident that this is the best decision at this time. You know what I mean? I'm like, Mom, you're writing to me and Leanne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't have to, let's just take it down like three notches of formality.
Yes. Yeah.
And just like, let's just talk like normal people, but also bless. And I get it, Mom. I get it. Mom, you're listening. I get it. And I love you.
I kind of like that she's heading off, she's heading off questions. She's saying like, this is
I'm just
where
saying,
we are.
It's more like the formality of like the like, I don't know. But my mom does say, she's like, you have such an incredible ability to write the way that you talk.
Right.
And she's like, I've never been able to do that. And so maybe that's just the disconnect for my mom. Like, some people can't do it, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well,
I'm going to say big ups to her for communicating to you at all.
Period.
Because a lot of, And even, in my family, we're always joking that like, that someone in my family or my husband's family will talk to you for like a full hour on the phone and be like, oh, by the way, your uncle died. And then we're like, why didn't you mention that? And
I do think that that's common.
Yeah, I think it is too. And it's so funny because I just think it's one of those things where they're like, I don't know, they're just doing the best they can to like talk to you about what's important. And I don't know why people communicate the way they do, but I'm just appreciative of anyone trying to communicate at all because a lot of people just punt on it,
I know. And I find too, I don't know if anyone else has this experience, like sometimes there are so many people to fill in all the time.
Yes.
That sometimes I'm just like, did I tell you this? I didn't tell you this. Did I tell you this?
Right.
And I feel like people get their feelings hurt who are like close to you.
Yes.
To me. I'm going to use an I statement. I feel like sometimes people who are close to me get their feelings hurt when I'm like, wait, but I told you this. And they're like, no, must have been someone else. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, it was someone else. It was like 47 other fucking someone else's. Because guess what? A lot of people need pertinent information about my goddamn life.
Right. And by the way, those are the same people that like if you were to, for example, do like a giant group text or like an email, like announcing something or like whatever, just filling people in. So I feel like those are the same people that would be like, that's kind of impersonal to send like a mass text or a mass.
Rude.
Yeah. And you're just like, well, I mean.
Sometimes I appreciate a group text or email when there's information that needs to be disseminated amongst many
I appreciate it too because usually because then I don't feel like I have to pass it along to anyone. Everyone that needs to know is on it.
And you can see who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh, so great. Can we talk about something really fast?
Let's talk about it.
Because this is like a little bit that. I have a friend who like is kind of like increasingly like just telling things that people have said to other people. And it's like really weird. And I don't know what it is about, but it feels like it's like it feels weird.
Like telling things that they probably shouldn't be passing along.
Or yes. And then like it's happened to me twice now. And when I like brought it up over text, there wasn't an apology. It was just like, oh no. I was like, oh, say this person was like bummed that, you know, you told them this thing I told you. And the response wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to say anything. It was like, oh no, she seemed fine, you know?
Right.
And I was like,
That's a weird thing. Like, I mean,
I hate having friends where you have to be like, hey, just keep this between us.
Right.
Like, I don't like that.
Right.
I just like got to a place. I guess I used to be gossipy. I think it's about attention, guys. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I used to be gossipy when I wanted it, like when I needed more attention in my life.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm putting together dots right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm connecting them as
or
they
like
say.
Wanting to feel something
important.
Like, yeah, wanting to feel like I affected that person. Because like well, first of all, I don't know the situation. I'm just going on like just generally. If you told me something about someone, I think that I'd be able to have a sense that if I told that someone, it would probably bum them out. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I would take my cue. Okay, this is like in confidence between Busy and I. Mm-hmm. So then if I then made the move to tell that person, that would almost be about like, I have a pretty good idea that this is going to bum this person out. And so like me wanting to do this or feeling like I have to do this, me being moved to do this is because I want to see that I have like some power over someone.
Right. I mean, this was like in my particular case, it's not bad news.
Yeah.
But it just was like not, I don't know. It's complicated. It's complicated because then I guess someone might say, someone listening might say, well, then just don't say the thing to your friend.
Right.
But like, but it was hard to the conversation.
Right.
And it was also like they were straight up asking me about a situation that like a work thing. And I was like, oh, well, it's not, you know, if it, da, 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 da.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just as weird. I think you're right. Like, I don't know if it's, because I don't think the intention was to like, that this is going to feel bad for this other person. And I want to do that. But I do think it is about like letting the other person know that you have
information.
Power.
Yeah. And that you're like inside and in the know.
You're inside baseball, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like when people tell me things at this point, I'm just like, honestly, I'm not telling anyone anything.
I assume it's confidential.
Yes.
I assume everything is confidential. Well, like I tell you about whenever I say something about my family on the podcast, like you and I have like an extemporaneous conversation.
For sure.
But whenever I say something about anyone in my family, I then go to them and say, listen, I said XYZ about you on the podcast. Are you cool with that? Like, are you cool with, and...
Well, you did get burned that one time.
I did
by
get
an
burned
extended family
by
member.
an extended family member. And also, there's only been one time where someone in my family has been like, I might not want to talk about that, like, in... like publicly, so if we could just make it smaller. But for the most part, my family is like, and my husband in particular is always like, say whatever you have to say. It's your story and it's your life and you're allowed to say whatever. But like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're trying to have a friendship or a relationship with someone, then,
it's really like put me off.
Yeah, I bet that's a bummer. And like maybe they didn't even realize like you feel.
I don't know.
Well, once you said something once, I feel like then it's time to be on your best behavior. And like it bums me out. Again, not knowing the situation, not knowing who you're talking about at all, and I might not even know the person. It bums me out whenever you give someone like kind of an opportunity to apologize to you and they miss the boat on that.
Right.
Where you're just like, hey, this felt wrong to me and I'm upset and this person's upset.
And they're like, oh no.
That's a second rule, assume confidentiality and always like apologize. It's free.
I just opened the window, guys.
I know. Maybe.
You know what? I wanted a little fresh air in here.
It's
fresh
nice
air
to have
with
fresh
Terry
air,
Gross.
and there's some like leaves falling down, it feels very autumnal. It feels very.
It is. It's Thanksgiving week.
It's Thanksgiving week.
Oh my God. I don't know. There's a lot happening, guys. There's a lot going on. It is Thanksgiving week.
You're going to Arizona for the actual Thanksgiving, or where are you going?
No.
Oh, I don't know where you're going. No. Where are you having dinner?
No. Well, I think we're just going to do a little potluck friends action.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Here in Los Angeles.
Oh, good.
And Birdie's already requested not going.
Well, that's a version of potluck. That's a version of everybody doing their own thing.
Well, Birdie's just like, we're not celebrating like Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know, which is, I think at this point, guys, it's,
yeah,
we're not celebrating Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I we'll see what happens. I don't know what Birdie's vibe is. We went to Elton John over the weekend.
Yes.
It was incredible.
I know. I mean, I don't know, but I do know because a lot of people I know were there.
Oh my God, so many people.
So many people were there, but we did not get a ticket for our Elton John fan in our house, Lincoln. I'm sorry. We're bad parents.
Well,
we'll get you next time he has a farewell tour.
Listen,
if that'll happen.
We don't know.
He still is doing a bunch of dates in the UK. So I guess
there's an opportunity.
There's a universe in which Lincoln could
Can
get
I tell
to
you
see
something?
him.
It was so wildly impressive. Like,
yeah.
He is incredible. Like, I've seen him before play a little bit. Like, I've been invited to his big fundraising Oscar party.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gone to that before, which is incredible. If you guys don't know, you've probably seen like the Elton John Oscar viewing party, but every year he does it for his AIDS charity.
Right.
And they raise millions and millions and millions of dollars every year doing that party, which is so cool. And so I've seen him play a little bit there, but it's wild. He's 74 years old.
That's incredible.
He was just like killing it. And his voice is incredible still. Like,
he still sounds great.
Really hit all the notes and sing. And he's just incredible. Now, there is one thing that happened that I was like, okay, so he announced, and it's at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
This is the he announced it. It's like the 103rd show he's played in Los Angeles in his career.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking imagine. Like full show. 103rd.
Yeah, incredible.
And he's done 93 shows this year alone on this farewell tour.
Wow.
74 years old. He's like a grandpa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a dad, but he's a grandpa.
But he's like a grandpa age. Yeah.
Yeah. He's 74. So he was at the piano, just like banging it away, like killing it, singing. And his first costume was like tuxedo pants and a white shirt tucked in, and then like a little tiny bolero sequiny jacket.
Like a tux jacket, yeah.
Yeah.
A cutaway.
And so he like plays the song, and then he stands up. And the first time he stood up, it was like the shirt kind of ballooned up at the tummy.
Yeah.
You know, like pulled out.
Yeah,
and
like old men do.
Like old men do. And I was like, oh no. And he kind of like tried to like jimmy his belt and his pants up a little bit. And then he went back and he played the piano again. And then, about the third or fourth time, Caissie, we had the bottom two buttons of the white shirt were unbuttoned. And so then like all of a sudden there was like a little tiny triangle of skin. And I was like, are we seeing, oh my God, we're seeing Elton's belly button. We're about to see Elton's belly button. And when we got full belly button, the ladies, the mom and daughter in front of us, and me and Birdie and Jen and Emily were like, someone's got to go on stage. Someone has to go on stage and tuck his fucking shirt back in for him. Like, I just was like, he didn't. And I was talking to someone else about it, and they're like, he must have known. I was like, there's no world
way
in which he knew that he was giving us full belly button.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I have to say, it was like only endeared me to him.
Very humanizing,
more.
yeah.
It was so human and so like something that I would happen
That's
to me.
where human life comes from.
The belly button.
The belly button.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
sort of.
I mean, in a way.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, we don't need to dwell on that. But the point was, it was like so sweet and cute. But then he had multiple other wardrobe changes and he finished in this like amazing Gucci jogging suit.
Oh, great.
It was fantastic.
Listen, maybe we need to talk about bodysuits, like how blouses are bodysuits now. Maybe that's not just for women. Maybe men need to get into shirt bodysuits.
Let's de-genderize fashion, guys.
That snap at the crotch. Also, it's interesting to me because
but maybe that's not comfortable with their balls and their penises.
Maybe, but there's, we're an innovative
Here's
society.
What I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. Ready for this? 2 snaps on either side, 1 snap in the front that goes to the waistband of your briefs.
There you go. Yeah. No ball problems.
No ball problems. It doesn't snap at the crotch. It snaps at the waistband.
There you go.
That's genius. Guys,
it's done. It's done.
Do it. Someone make it.
I'm surprised that nobody did come out to tuck his shirt for him because in my experience, Elton John is very well attended. When I worked at the Late Show with David Letterman, we did the show in London and Elton John was our musical guest. He was backstage in the wings of the theater at Thames Studios. That's where we were. And I was just standing there and he asked me, "Hey, do you think I could get a Diet Coke?" And I was like, it's not really my job to get Elton John a Diet Coke, but I don't know whose job it would be.
Right.
And I'm right here and he's asked me. So I just ran to find a Diet Coke. I did not know where there was a Diet Coke, but I found one and I brought it to him. And I remember being like embarrassed that there wasn't a glass, but we were in a TV studio that I was unfamiliar with and I didn't know where there were any glasses. Anyway, I was like, "I'm sorry, there's no glass." And I went to hand him the Diet Coke and some person from Elton John's team swooped in just as he was about to take the Coke from my hand, snatched the Coke from my hand, wrapped it in a napkin, and then handed it to Elton John.
So
and
you weren't doing it correctly.
I wasn't doing it correctly, and I wasn't doing it the Elton John way. But to his credit, he wasn't like, "What the fuck? You're supposed to wrap it in a napkin." He was just graciously about to take it. Someone intervened from his team. But I'm saying whatever happened to that person, that should have been the person that like swooped in to tuck in his shirt for him.
100%.
I don't know.
But also, I don't know. I didn't mind it.
No,
it was like a fun little.
It's like a bonus. You got more than you paid for.
Definitely. Also, the video packages, like the videos that were playing.
Oh yeah, people. Do you mean like beforehand, the people greeting him, or like the packages to illustrate the songs?
No, the packages to illustrate the songs. The things that were playing like on the jumbotrons as the like animation / videos to go with the music were so wild and so each one more like sort of seemingly unrelated.
I did notice that. I watched it on Disney Plus.
I watched. Wait, did you see Belly Button on Disney Plus?
I don't think I saw the shirt coming untucked, and I knew about the belly button because Emily texted.
Oh,
I saw Elton John's belly button. After
I imagine that the camera crew was keeping it above the belly button.
Yeah, they're just,
they're like, we're live streaming this on Disney Plus.
They know what they're doing.
We're going to keep it family
it's a family
friendly
channel.
We don't want another Janet Jackson situation.
Exactly. Same people responsible for why you've never seen a housewife's vagina because they've been out there.
Oh my God. That's
but
really funny.
I also had to laugh. Did you watch the Disney Plus telecast? Did you go back to watch it at all? I did have to laugh because my son recorded it because we all burst out laughing, and I want to see if other people think it's as funny. There was like a young woman who was like a Disney Plus correspondent. She's beautiful. I'm not familiar with her or her work, but she was doing like basically a 15-minute countdown from the stage, and she was like, in just 15 minutes, Elton John John will be here at Dodger Stadium where he started it all in the United States. And now he's doing his farewell tour. And then she goes, and what a place to end it all. And my whole family fell out.
That was so insane. Oh my God. But wait, listen, we went to try to get like food. I don't understand like loan out events at arenas because they like never have all of the concessions open. And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
And I didn't get my nachos that I wanted. But anyway, I was like waiting in this line and all of a sudden, and I was by myself because Jen was somewhere else. Emily and Emily and Birdie were somewhere else. And I was by myself waiting in this line. And I turn around and I am face to face with JoJo Siwa dressed as Elton from the movie Rocket Man when he like storms in right off the stage from the show, like that big yellow and red outfit with like the horns on and the feathers. She's like stomping toward me. So that's what I felt like, wearing that thing with like security around her. And I was like, is that JoJo Siwa? Like, it was so bizarre. And I was like, hi, you look great. And she's like, thank you. And I just kept stomping away. And then as she passed, I was like turning around and like I had no one there were strangers near me. And I was like, guys, that was JoJo Siwa. Guys, that was JoJo Siwa dressed as Elton. Like, it was so insane and so amazing and fantastic. And I was talking about it with Birdie later, and Birdie was like so pissed to miss it. But I was like, it looked like the real costume from the movie. Like, maybe she's going to be on stage or something. And Birdie's like, no, that's just her vibe. She does stuff like that, because she's got all that money from Nickelodeon trying to keep her quiet from not coming out as being gay. And I was like, what? And like Birdie has this whole I don't know if this is like
TikTok conspiracy.
Here's what I'm going to say. I never know when Birdie tells me something, if this is like a thing that is known for real or if it is like a TikTok conspiracy theory. And I'm just saying like pop culture wise. I'm not saying about current or world events. I'm just saying.
Sure.
So she was like, oh yeah, Nickelodeon totally had to pay her off because they were trying to keep her quiet about the fact that she was gay. So she is like has so much money now. And I was like, oh, okay.
And that somehow translates into a 100% accurate.
Yeah, you just buy buy that
costume.
Why not?
I'm going to say she must have had it because she's quite tall, right?
I don't know. She felt like she was my height.
Okay. I thought she was tall for some reason.
It doesn't seem like, I think she's much taller than she was when she was a child.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you're thinking. But I think she's like, she seems like a height, like regular height.
Like, okay.
Like a tall lady, but not like super tall.
Yeah. But Taron Egerton is small.
Taron Egerton.
Edgerton? He's small.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like
they might be the same height.
I have obviously have height conspiracies about JoJo Siwa. And my point is that I would think that she had to have that costume made. It probably wasn't from the movie because I think she's bigger than he.
Ooh, guess what? I think they're the exact same height.
Really?
5'9". Well, it says he's 5'9", okay? So wait, let's look her up right now. Oh, I got my trusty phone today.
Why did I think Taron Egerton was small?
I don't know. 5'9".
Wow.
Guys, it might have been the exact
It could have been the costume. Wow.
There are pictures, I think, online of her in it. It is spectacular. It's pretty wild.
What did you wear?
Well, I had kind of like an outfit fail. I wasn't thinking when I was packing.
Yeah. That you were going to.
That I was going to Elton, and I wasn't thinking like what my outfit for the show would be, and that I should be definitely wearing some sequins.
Yeah.
And that I have so many sequin things that I could have been wearing.
It's true. There were a lot of good costumes I saw.
There were so many. And then I was here and I had time.
You had time.
And honey, I didn't do a thing.
Well, that's all right. It's not about that.
No, it wasn't. And actually I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
So that was good.
So great. You had the glasses.
I wore my big Gucci glasses. And then Birdie and Jen waited in like a line and spun a thing and answered a question, and then they got like Elton glasses.
Oh,
like
amazing.
plastic Elton glasses that were
Perfect.
cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just like it was really, really nice. I did wish that I had some. I just have so many sequins in my life.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Well, if you missed the concert, it's on Disney Plus now. You can watch it. Our friend Carly Siegel from Busy Tonight produced the
she
show.
did?
Yeah, she did a great job. It looked great. And I would say like pretty well captures the excitement of like being at a concert. I was, like sometimes watching a concert film isn't, it just leaves something to be desired. Like you don't feel, but that one was exciting. It got me hype.
Yeah, that's so great for her.
Yeah, she's great. She's killing it.
She's really killing it. Wow. Okay.
So that was good. I'm glad you had a good time. You had an idea about like a Raya filter?
We were just joking. I was joking because I have so many friends that are like on Raya now.
Yeah.
Like, which is just weird.
Raya, if you don't know, is like a dating app, but it's for like people of note. Or it used to be like.
I don't even know if that's true anymore. I mean, there are real celebrities on it for sure.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, be approved, I guess, to get into it.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like, it's like for people who live in LA and New York.
Yeah.
And London and Paris and like work in fashion or entertainment in any capacity kind of. Because it's like they have like makeup artists around, there's like lots of different kinds of people that work in the industry. I guess the idea.
It's like people who are, I guess people who are related to the industry. Somebody offered to get Eli on it one time and he said,
okay.
He said, no, thank you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's not for her,
Yeah,
but like,
exactly.
But I have no judgment about who it's for. But Emily and I took this picture and Emily looked so great on it. And I was like, it's your new Raya profile pic. And then we were just like laughing about how we could make a filter of me like posing. Like you could take a selfie and then just put me in.
Yeah.
And then it could be like everyone's profile pic for Raya. It was just like Busy Phillips is my best friend. Like if you're not a famous person on Raya, you could just be like, oh, Busy Phillips is my best friend.
That's why I'm
because
here.
there are lots of like non-famous people on Raya.
Yeah.
Emily was like, I really feel like this would lend some credibility to me. I feel like I'll get some more swipes if people know that you're my best friend. And I'm like, okay,
all right.
Feel free, go for it. Should we make a filter? Should we democratize this? Should this be available to everyone?
Yeah.
Who's not famous?
Yeah.
And then
you
she's
can
like,
be like the test case.
Sure.
And then, and that who would you want to have a filter to put as your best friend?
Taron Egerton. No, I don't know. Elton John.
He's very handsome, Taron Egerton.
God, I love him.
That movie was so good.
It's Birdie's favorite movie.
Rocket Man?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such
That's why Birdie literally knows every lyric to every Elton John song ever because like Rocket Man's Birdie's favorite movie of all time.
Obsessive watching of Rocket Man. Lincoln is a huge fan of any musical biopic. So
Birdie didn't love the Queen one.
Because it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. Even Lincoln could admit that. But that's he's seen every single one, and I feel like through him, I have seen them all as well. So.
I haven't seen a lot, but I don't watch anything anymore.
You just don't watch movies anymore.
I just don't watch anything.
It's hard. Who has the time to watch things?
I don't know.
I watch a ton of things. I say this all. I'm being a fraud. I watch a ton of things.
What do you watch right now?
Right now, I'm watching White Lotus.
Oh, yeah, the new season?
Yeah, I just finished Great British Bake Off. I just started The Americans, because I never watched it when it was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People love that show.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
How do you have time? When are you watching shows? What are you doing?
Well, because Matt gets home from work so late. And so, we like to hang out a little bit before he has to go to sleep. And so a TV show is a good low lift way to hang out. So we'll try to watch an episode of something, or by the same token, like if he gets home so late and I'm already asleep, maybe we'll try to watch a TV show in the morning before he has to get going. So,
nice.
because like, yeah, what are we going to do? Go for a hike or something? No. But yeah, the Americans, here's my main question about it.
Yes.
Americans fans. And I don't think this is spoiling anything.
Okay.
It's people that are like Russian KGB spies that are living in America as American citizens.
We know this.
And they're married. The two people, the two main characters are married and they have children, they have a family. But also like a huge part of their jobs is like rendezvousing with other people that they're trying to spy on. And sometimes that leads to spy sex.
Wow.
But here's the thing for me, the spy sex, they're always wearing like an elaborate wig. And I just don't know how you can like fuck a whole person and have them not like find out that you have a wig on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the wig is going to pop off at some point.
Well, not if it's like really professionally put on and like glued to your head.
I don't know because like, again, not a spoiler, I don't think, but it's years after the fact. So if I'm spoiling it for you, I'm sorry. But there's a thing where like he gets captured, like he's doing his thing, he's rendezvousing, he's supposed to rendezvous with this lady, and he has like this like accountant type wig on because he has like curly hair in real life, but he has like a little bit of a blowout wig, and
You're not selling this show to me. I'm sorry.
He's supposed to be,
everybody says it's so good, but whatever is happening right now with the wigs, I'm not on board.
He's supposed to be rendezvousing with his lady to get some info, and then someone puts a full pillowcase over his head, throws him in the back of a van, and then brings him to like an undisclosed location where he's, they're giving him the business, trying to get him to talk. And then the head like, the head thug guy goes up behind him and just like yoinks his wig off his head, being like, aha, this is how we know we got you, you're a spy. And he's just like, and that's when he knows he's sunk. He's like, oh fuck, they know that's a wig. And then I'm like, yeah, if it's that easy to just pull your wig off.
Well, ladies wear wigs all the time just for fashion.
Yeah. Well, I also trust a lady to put her wig on more securely and like
than an FBI agent? Or
then like a KGB agent?
agent?
Yeah, I just feel like they're always in a rush, heading somewhere. They're probably he's probably just throwing his little wig on, and then I don't know how it doesn't come off when he's having sex with stranger ladies.
I don't know the answer to this, Caissie.
I'm just saying I have to suspend my disbelief.
I get it.
RE the wigs.
But this must be a thing that like has happened.
Yes.
IRL.
Spycraft.
I think spies are good at that stuff.
Maybe.
I think they know how to fuck and keep the wig on. Is that a t-shirt?
Spy guys, if you're listening, please let us know how you have sex and keep your wig on.
I have loved Milk Bar for so many years.
Me too. I've been a big, big fan
For years.
Of Milk Bar.
Milk Bar, guys, if you don't know it, Milk Bar started in New York years ago, sort of next to Momofuku, which is
an amazing restaurant.
And it was the like dessert restaurant that was super inventive. It was this woman, Christina Tosi, who started it. And you can ship the desserts now nationwide.
Yes.
And nothing has ever made me happier than knowing that fudgy cake truffles and the like over the top cakes that are so delicious,
amazing,
and
pies, the
cookies. You can have those treats wherever you go for the holidays, and you can send them to your family members.
My lawyer is a very good lawyer, but here's why he will always be my lawyer, because he always sends Milk Bar cookies whenever there's anything to celebrate, and I can never let that go.
In time for Thanksgiving, for a limited time, Milk Bar is offering their delicious new pumpkin Milk Bar pie, their apple cider donut cake, which is literally so delicious. I cannot even explain to you. And the apple cider donut truffles. And if you act fast, you can also get your hands on their seasonal lab drop, which is pumpkin coffee cake. Oh my God. Oh my God. made in limited batches straight from their experimental kitchen. Wait, I need to get that one. I really do.
Or you can get the classic Milk Bar pie, the famous cult favorite holiday treat made from toasted oat crust with gooey butter filling. That's the one that I think they built their entire reputation on.
Wait, guys, can I just tell you also, it's never too early to plan ahead, but also if you waited last minute and you need desserts stat, they also offer fast, even overnight, nationwide shipping. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Milk Bar. I am obsessed with all of the treats.
Yes.
It's the thing that I send to people all the time. And that is also how I know I'm going to stay in their lives. Guys, right now, Milk Bar has a special limited time offer. You can get $15 off any order of $80 or more when you go to milkbarstore.com/best. You'll get $15 off an order of $80 by going to milkbarstore.com/best. milkbarstore.com/best. Ka-ching! Ka-ching!
What's that?
It's another sale on Shopify. You guys, they have a real sound. Let's hear the real sound.
Yeah.
That's
That's the real sound.
That's the sound of another sale on Shopify. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere. Whether your thing is like vintage teas or recipes, you can start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of your favorite businesses worldwide. You know who uses Shopify?
We do.
We do. That's how you buy our merch. Our merch is real cute, and we use Shopify. Shopify has all the sales channels sorted so your business keeps growing. From an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And thanks to 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify has got you every step of the way. Guys, it's been so easy for us to track our sales, to see what's selling, to see what price points are selling best.
If we can do it,
anyone can literally do it. Literally. And maybe you're thinking, maybe you're like, this is my year. I'm going to launch my thing. I'm going to do it.
We want that for you.
I want to sell this blank. I don't know what your thing is, guys. I'm not there with you right now. Only you know that. But I'm telling you, you should do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions and millions of businesses, down the street, around the globe, and just right here on our podcast. So listen, guys, sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/herbest, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/herbest to start selling online today. Shopify.com/herbest. We tried to make another list this week. Your dogs have been peeing on the bed.
Well, they haven't been peeing, but the other night was Emily Beebe's birthday.
Yes.
We went, we hung out.
Yes.
A lot of people had a lot of drinks and it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was so fucking tired. I cannot get over my goddamn jet lag.
Yeah.
What is wrong with it? 3 hours is the worst.
Yeah.
Do you know what time I woke up this morning?
Probably like 4.
4 a.m.
Yeah, I thought so because I texted you pretty early and you were answered right away.
Yeah, I was up at 4. At 5:30, I was like, fucking close your eyes. What is wrong with you? Go back to sleep. At least you have to do your podcast.
You just have to do something productive at that point.
Well, I should be watching The Americans, clearly.
Yeah.
Thinking about
wig sex.
But No, I mean, I should be watching the show, but but I had to like go home from Emily's house
because you were tired.
I was sleepy.
Matt also went home because he had to get up at like 4 a.m. to go to work, and we had separate cars. So I was
should
like,
just take his shifts while I'm in town.
You should. I was like, I'm going to stay a little while longer and like help clean up the mess that
you didn't need to because Sim was there.
Yeah, Simran cleans.
Our friend Simran is the master of kitchen cleaning.
Yeah, that's like it's the best.
She's incredible. Like it's so fast and efficient too. I don't even understand.
She is really fast at it. You're right. You're right. So anyway, I got home like I don't know, at 90 minutes after Matt left, and he was already sound asleep in bed, and I went to get in bed, and I was like, our bed is wet, like up near the head of the bed, up near the pillow.
On your
I was
side?
Like, yeah. And it wasn't just like, didn't just piss through all of
the layers,
the bedding, the layers, piss on the pillow, piss everywhere. And I was just like, I'm not going to like wake up Matt to get him out of bed. So I just like let him be on his like dry side of the bed. But like,
what did you do?
I just like put something over it.
Towels?
And then tried to like, you know, when you like cling to the like edge of the bed.
No,
sleeping?
I think that's terrible. Wait, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
What's wrong with the dog?
Well, I looked at we don't let the dogs down the hallway because like they're just not to be trusted.
Right.
Like,
well,
you know,
clearly.
they're just and so somebody accidentally must have let the dog into our room. But then I looked it up and I was like, was she mad at me because I wasn't home or whatever? Or is she mad at me because we don't let her in the bedroom generally?
Yeah.
But I looked it up and animal experts say that dogs don't have the capacity for vindictiveness.
Fuck that. Animal experts don't know shit. Animal experts haven't met baby Gina, who literally mopes so hard when my suitcase comes out that it's like she gives me a look and she's like, I know what's about to happen. And I can't believe you're doing this to me again.
Well, that I believe. That I think like she knows that you're going away and she's probably sad about it. But it's not like she doesn't like take your credit card and go on like a bender.
Honestly, I would not put it past her. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. No, I don't believe that. I think that's so weird. Also, like animal experts, why do you think you know?
That is a good point. That's my question.
You're not
about
in their fucking little pea brains.
Yes, they've never spoken to you. They've never. Yeah,
you don't know. They don't know any more than we know.
It's true.
I'm just saying, I don't buy it. I don't buy it when animal experts are like, dogs and cats can't act out on revenge. They have object impermanence. It's like, okay. Ish, but also, what do you fucking know? You don't know any. You're not inside the dog's brain.
It's true. So anyway, but here's what I will say is the advantage of having read that. What I read was that dogs don't have the capacity for vindictiveness. That when they're peeing on something, it's just their way of trying to be involved and being like, I belong here too.
Well, okay. I guess that's just like a different spin on
vindictiveness.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, the upshot is I slept like clinging, like with like the strength of my butt cheeks. I know you've had this happen before where you're on the edge of the bed and like somehow only clenching your butt cheeks is keeping you on the bed.
Yes.
And then just had to spend my entire Sunday laundering every item of everything that was on my bed. And I have like I'm a pretty simple person. I have pretty simple tastes.
Yeah.
But my bed is like lavishly adorned with several layers of things.
Yeah,
and
that's
so it was a lot of shit that had to be washed. And I was very mad about spending my Sunday that way.
Yeah, because that sucks.
Yeah, it really blew.
Also, sheets, I just have to say, washing and drying sheets is the worst.
Yeah, it
never works right.
It never goes the same way twice.
No, and they're like crumpled, and then the middle's wet, and then the thing. At least you're in Los Angeles, and even if it's cold, the sun is so and it's so dry here that you can. I would always hang my sheets and duvet covers.
Yeah,
I mean, I had little kids not that long ago, so we did have a lot of pee moments.
Yes.
And I would always hang the sheets in the sun after. Also, guys, a good idea. Just a word to the wise. A word from the wise. What is the expression?
A word to the wise.
A word to the wise. It's good. It's a good idea to dry your underwear in the sunlight. Crotch up.
Crotch up.
Yeah, seriously, to kill any bacteria. Seriously.
We're like one step away from those people that sun their buttholes.
I would sun my butthole. I've tried it before. I have kind of tried it in some version. Like I was like, I wonder what that feels like. It didn't do anything for me. Like I just downward dogged toward the sun. But
you downward dogged and raw dogged.
What is that? What does that mean? What is raw dog?
I mean, raw dog means when you're have sex with no protection, but I think people are increasingly using raw dogging just meaning
what?
Everything's out there. There's nothing between you and whatever else.
Whatever. I know that. Okay. I remember I have downward dogged my butt to the sun at one point just because I was like, I wonder what that feels. It was fine. But the crotch up underwear thing was
really worked.
Was something that my a gynecologist years and years ago told me
that makes
great
sense
to do for your underwear because just was
can't hurt.
Listen, guys, I'm just trying to give you some tips and tricks.
Yeah, because
that's what this podcast is. It's really just tips and
helpful
tricks.
hints from Heloise. Imagine. I mean, our crotches. I just saw someone tweeting about how vaginas bleach underwear crotches the other day, which
wait, vaginas bleach them?
Yeah, some people have maybe this has never happened to you, but some people, and I might be including myself, and some people have bodily fluids that sometimes take the color out of the crotch of colored underwear.
Wait, but does that mean that you're really acidic? Maybe.
There's
there's two ways of being according to holistic. It's alkaline or acidic. You want to be more alkaline.
Yeah.
It's if you're too acidic, it's not great for your body. I wonder if that has something to do with it, or if I'm just making everything up.
I don't know. But all I'm saying is sunlight can't hurt. Whatever. If your pussy is bleaching your underwear,
God, Jesus Christ,
sunlight's not going to do any more damage.
Wait, listen. I have to tell you, I saw a friend. You're going to know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to put anyone on blast. But I saw a friend when I got back here, and because I am so well trained now at this point, and guys, I just am only saying this because I want you to know that we practice what we preach. I practice what I preach here. I'm so changed by all of our conversations and how frequently we say similar things over and over, reiterate certain ideas, that a friend of mine was just don't you notice anything different about me? And I was like, bangs. and she was like, no. And I'm like, glasses. And she's like, I have lost over 20 pounds. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea. But what was so interesting is that is something that I would normally clock on a person just because of my own brain.
Yeah.
The ingrained body stuff that I've had my whole life.
Yeah.
I literally didn't see it.
That's so interesting.
And I mean, once it was pointed out,
then
I was like, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that is right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it was super fucking fascinating. I didn't see it. And I actually did say, I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. I just have really been trying for a couple years now to not comment on people's bodies, and honestly, I guess not even really notice them. Because I just hadn't, but I'm glad you feel good and I'm glad you're happy about it and you seem great, But it was just really fucking wild.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's interesting to see an idea that you're trying to
incorporate,
take.
Yeah.
I
know. I think my friend was kind of annoyed, but I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, I'm really doing it. But yeah, I think she was kind of annoyed. Well, but whatever. You look great.
That's hilarious.
I know. What else is happening this week? I'm really sad about Colorado Springs, and I thought about, like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, so,
yeah.
I just am so, I don't know. I'm so, like, I'm over these people with their hatred of other people. And I just, like, again, to what, you know, it is to what end?
Yeah.
And I guess their end is that they want to end us and people who are loving and open and accepting of all people. Like, I am so baffled by the point. You know, there is no point, is what I'm going to say. But
there is no point, and I think we're getting to the point where we know what the answers are. Hatred and access to guns will do it every time.
Every time.
We'll do it every time.
And this, like, indoctrination, like, in his family. Like, it's like his great-grandfather is like a MAGA, not great-grandfather, grandfather.
Yeah.
It's like a MAGA office holding politician in San Diego. Like,
right.
This kid is, by the way.
And he has a history.
Yeah, he has a history of violence and threats and all kinds of things. And, like, I'm so, I don't know. I'm just so heartbroken for, like, everyone.
It just, the things that I've been thinking about, and, like, these are just disparate thoughts because it, you know, to try to say anything that hasn't been said.
Right. Yes.
You know, but the thing that I keep thinking about is, like, these people with their rhetoric, they're saying that they're so worried that we're, like, trying to turn kids gay and trying to make kids trans. And, like, that's the worst nightmare. That's the worst nightmare for them. And I'm like, first of all, you can't make kids gay. You can't make kids trans. It's just that, to even say that. But also, you can make kids hateful and you can make kids dangerous, and that's what you're doing, and that's what should be your worst nightmare.
Totally.
And yet some of these people, they have histories of violence and
almost always.
Like, what is the purpose of covering for that and not managing that, not handling that? Because then is it that you want this to happen? Like, that you're okay with, like, the next time happen? I don't understand. And I mean, I feel very fortunate that, you know, that's not the situation with my sons. You know, I can't imagine what it must be like to be a parent of a kid like this, but also I can't imagine if there was any concern ever that my kid was going to do something like this. I don't think that I would just
sit back
and be, you know, I get it. I get the instinct to, like, protect, but I haven't read much about this particular shooter. I read just a little bit of in the articles. But didn't his mother call? She did. I mean, like,
him
just
a few times.
Yes. I mean, just, like, overall, he was protected by society, you know?
Well, right.
But that's the thing. When you protect one person like that, you fail to protect hundreds of other people that are going to be the subject of when this comes up again, because it always comes up again. It never goes away. One thing that did, you know, warm my heart slightly, and it's such cold comfort in the face of something like this, is that when the police did the press conference to state who the victims were, they made it a point to say that they were going to identify them as they identified themselves and as they were loved by their families. And so they said everyone's pronouns, and, you know, and it's so fucked up that it takes something like that. And it's so fucked up to find yourself in a position to be moved by something like that. And, you know, the stories of, like, heroism.
I know,
and
that sweet guy who was there with, like, his whole family.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
also, by the way, they're not members of the LGBTQ community. Like, you know what I mean? They're
Right.
extended. They're like
Right,
allies.
right,
They're
right.
friends. And like, he was there with his wife and his daughter and her boyfriend.
Right. Yeah.
Celebrating, having a good time. And like, the boyfriend was killed.
Yeah. And so it's just,
Ay.
I don't understand a world where we're so afraid of turning someone into something that A, it's not possible, and B, even if it were possible, it's not a bad thing. It's not.
Oh, well, I mean, did you see this? Some fucking guy. I mean, I blocked him on my Instagram.
I didn't see.
Oh, boy. Well, I posted my photos from Elton John, you know?
Yeah.
And Birdie was wearing a Bands Off Our Bodies t-shirt
Yeah.
at the concert. I don't know. The child just got dressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And someone said, you know, like, Birdie's singing along. It's so beautiful. And then this man, except the part where she is actively brainwashing her child just because she had an abortion when she was that age. Sad. And then he, like, this motherfucker commented like multiple places. And, you know, I have to say, like, you know, my friends, my fan friends on here are like, bro, go fuck yourself, you know? Where can I get our t-shirt? And then that guy, do not get that. And then there's another one too, where about me brainwashing. She's brainwashing her child to think denying a baby's life is okay.
And you're just like, sir, like, who are you? What is your story? Do you have a child? Are they
I have love in my heart, which is why I wouldn't deny a life. It's sick that she's pushing this on her daughter.
Oh my gosh. Just mind your fucking business.
Like, why are you here?
Right.
Why are you here? Why are you here? And in somebody says to someone else on it, oh, he's pro-freedom according to his bio, as long as that freedom applies to guns and not women's rights or bodies. Right.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. But I just was like, that was like seeing those comments. Like, the idea, first of all, the idea that I could make Birdie do or not do anything is, quite frankly, sir, comical.
It's hilarious.
It is truly hilarious. But also, like, I don't know, guess what? Like, Birdie wouldn't exist if I hadn't had that abortion.
Right.
So would you deny that child's life, sir?
Right.
I don't know. Or cricket. Or whatever. You don't fucking know. And also, shut the fuck up. Get out of here, dude. It doesn't impact you at all. Why are you here?
Right. Just go
Why
away.
are you here?
Go away.
Why does my joy, my child's joy,
and
why do these people care?
I get why they think they care. I do.
I don't.
I get why they think they care, but I'm just like, what is your life that you have the time to like try to battle this in the comment section of an Instagram post? Just go plant a garden, do something productive. Help one of the children that you are so happy was born and not, you know what I mean? Like, do anything. Like, this is,
But it's the same. It's what I bring it up because it's like, obviously, it's like the same. It's
the same argument.
It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's like, yeah, people who are providing like affirming care for their kids, their trans kids, you know, like this idea that they're like forcing their children to be trans. It's like, guys, I mean, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Right.
Do they not remember like being a teenager?
Right.
Like, it's so weird to me. I was like, I've had this conversation too. Like when Birdie came out as gay, and maybe we've talked about this on the podcast, and we had a few friends that were like, yeah, but that'll change. She'll change her mind. Oh, they're all gay now. I'm like, really? Is your what?
Are you?
Are you? I mean, was your kid? Is your kid?
Right.
Like, fuck you. Also, like, do we know nothing from watching Masters of Sex, guys?
Right.
There's a Kinsey scale.
Right.
What's amazing is that a lot of kids are able to like put a word to a thing that they feel. Whereas years and years ago, like when we were growing up, a lot of kids didn't have the words for what they were feeling. They just knew that it wasn't quite what other kids were expressing, and they didn't know how that fit in, right? Or what it was.
Right.
Like I talked to my gay friends. I mean, I saw one of my friends this morning, who's a gay woman, who was like, several years ago, we had this conversation, and she was like, God, can I even tell you like how incredible that would have been when I was a kid to have known that the feelings that I was having for these girls was like, oh, that's okay. That's just, you have, that's what's in you.
Yes.
That's who you want to be with.
Right.
And she's like, it took me literally till I was like in my late 20s to understand and identify like, oh, that's my preference. That's what I like. Like, that's who I want to love.
Right.
And like the idea that you could turn your kids into anything is obviously just people who are so fucking, I don't know, narcissistic in their own right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they think that they would have that power over any other human being. You cannot make children become who they are.
Right. Right.
You can teach kids how to hate. That's
100%. You could teach any kid how to hate.
And I think those people can teach kids how to deny who they are.
Yes. Hate themselves.
And hate themselves.
Yeah.
It's only hate that they're teaching. It's not love or acceptance. It's not radical acceptance. It's not radical love. It's not, he doesn't have, this motherfucker commenting on my Instagram doesn't have love in his heart. He has nothing but hate.
Right. And that for me is increasingly like so much fear being put out there about like what we're turning people into all the time when you're turning people into the thing that you should fear. You are actually doing it.
I'm sorry. Stop it. Say it one more time very clearly. Just that first part. One more time.
There's so much fear in the world about what we're turning people into when you're actually turning people into what we should be afraid of.
That's it. That these people have so much fear about what children are being turned into that it is actively turning many people into the thing that we should be fearing the most.
The only thing. Because here's the thing. If a kid is gay and decides that they're ready to tell people and they're supported by their family, that takes nothing away from anyone. Why should that, what a 10-year-old or 12-year-old kid is determining is their like life path, and they're ready to share that with the people that they love in their life and be supported by their family, why does that have any effect on an adult man in Iowa or whatever the fuck? He shouldn't even know, nor should he care. Like, it's so fucking weird that all of these adults are so obsessed with the sexuality of children and sexualizing children.
But let's just like, come on. I mean, let's break, this is upholding the patriarchy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They sexualize little girls.
Yes.
We put them in the fucking pageants and the makeup and the thing and the hair. We talk about how the little boys, baby boys are such
heartbreakers and flirts.
Yeah. How the little girls are flirting. It's fucking disgusting. People are so gross.
Yeah. And
by the way, it's because they're all sexually repressed.
And it's so weird because it's
fucked up.
So normal, but it's so appalling. How many times have you heard someone, like an adult, look at a little girl and say, "Uh-oh, you're in trouble."
Oh my God. Do you know that? Do you know what I would always do? People say that to me all the time.
I'm sure.
I'd be like, I'm actually not. Like, just like that. Like a fucking bitch. I'd be like, oh, I'm not. I'm actually not in trouble. Just wait until she gets older. No, I got what you meant. I'm not in trouble. Thanks, though.
That's very weird.
Thank you.
That's a weird conversation you're trying to have.
Yeah. And I would always do the thing, too. I think we've talked about this. When somebody would say how beautiful one of my kids was, I would say, she's so smart.
Yes.
And really confident.
Yes. I always tell little girls in particular, but I tell all little kids, I always am like, you are so funny.
Yeah, funny. You're really smart and really funny.
You're so funny. You make me laugh so hard, because that's all I probably ever wanted anyone to tell me when I was a kid. So I always, even if they're not that funny.
By the way, can I tell you something? I think that little kids want to know also that they're pretty. Like, I think that it's important for like Mark, would always tell Birdie and Cricket obviously still tells Birdie and Cricket how beautiful they are and how cute they are. And I tell them how beautiful and cute they are.
Yeah.
But like, that's okay. I have an intimate relationship.
Yes.
Like,
you're
they're my
beautiful
children.
to me.
You are beautiful to me. Like, I do think that there's value to that. Like, commenting, but just
like an outside evaluation.
Yeah, but an outside, like some stranger on a train just being like, oh my God, she's beautiful. Like, ew.
And you're like, you don't know her.
Yeah. But also like just,
she could be horrible.
Ew. So just, ew, don't
It's
do that.
so weird. Yeah, because you wouldn't say like, oh my God, he's so average.
Right.
Oh my God, what a homely little baby. You'd never say.
No.
And
no, I was trying to think if I would, but no, I wouldn't.
No,
right.
you just wouldn't. And also, but that's what we're talking about, like those evaluations. Like, who gives a fuck what your opinion is of my child? And by the way, like, someone's baby is always beautiful to someone.
Well, and that's, of course.
Obviously.
But that's like also, because I had written down before Colorado Springs had happened, I had written down like, oh my God, we have to talk about this fucking Candace Cameron bullshit.
Oh.
The Great American TV Network or whatever the fuck.
Focusing on traditional families.
What's wrong with you, Candace Cameron? What happened in that family? You guys are lunatics. Stop it. Why can't you just like have your fucking beliefs and just like shut the fuck up?
It's always.
Why do you have to like, I don't know.
It's so weird
Why do you have to be so
me.
dismissive?
It's so weird to me. Someone that grew up in show business and probably has had so much contact and exposure to amazing gay people who have families and are very talented and kind and have probably helped her so much over the years, and her brother as well, to just be like hateful. And I'm sorry, I just hate it when people say like, well, it's just, it's against my beliefs and we don't have to believe the same thing. But, it's just like, it's not like, well, this is like a popular meme. It's not like saying like, I believe that pineapple on pizza is gross. You know what I mean? Like, that's a belief that we can, agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. I love pineapple on pizza. But like, to disagree about someone's humanity and value, that's like, it's
not up for debate.
It's immoral to me.
It's immoral.
And
also, by the way, it's not very Christ-like.
No, it's not.
Just want to point that out, okay?
It's not. You're correct. So,
I don't think Jesus would like it very much, Candace. In fact, I don't think he'd like it at all.
It's true. And so, and then, it's this weird thing where it's weird to me to be like, well, I can interpret and interpolate and speak for Jesus or Christ or whoever it is, that whatever your faith is. But it's like, people do it all the time. People do it all. Like, that's how we're having this argument. Mm-hmm. Like, it's my belief that this is against my beliefs. And I'm like, well, it's my belief that the person that you claim to worship or whatever would not like you.
I just feel like I hate. I feel like I don't know. I'm having a hard time with all of it. Like, And maybe the answer for me, because I have really been focusing on this like in these last few weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe the answer really is just continuing to focus on like, and I know it sounds cheesy, but like continuing to focus on like love and joy in the face of it, in the face of everything, like in the face of this hate, and like continuing to have the resolve that like, it's not gonna, I mean, we have to, we've got to do all the things. There are so many different roads that need to be taken to address like the rampant hatred, systemic issues that like are causing violence against, especially like marginalized communities in our country. And you look at like all the laws that have been introduced just in this last year, anti-LGBTQIA, anti-women's rights laws on state and local levels in this country. Like, I do think people are paying attention now, way more so than ever before.
Yes.
And so I think that we have the ability to make noise when we need to and where we need to and draw attention to these things. And that's the way we'll combat the hatred, right? Like, to continue to show up with love and like in good faith as people who are supportive of humanity.
Right. Well, love is productive.
Love is very productive.
You know what I mean? Like, love.
Guys, there's a reason why in improv, you always say yes.
Yes.
You don't say no.
Yes. And so, I mean, you think it's cheesy, but also like, honestly, what problem in our country or our world couldn't be solved by loving better? Love is productive. Love means you help someone when they need help. Love means that you make something for someone to make their life better. Love means that you are there for and supporting people who need your support. The opposite, hate, is just like you're trying to pull back. You're trying to take away things that already exist. You're trying to put obstacles in the way of people that are just trying to live. It's like you're literally a fucking supervillain.
Right.
When you hate things. And, some people are pitiful at it and it's laughable. Some people are really fucking good at it and they've taken it all the way up to the top of leadership in countries, and they've become really effective at throwing roadblocks up and keeping people from progressing, keeping people from living their lives in the way that this country was supposedly founded: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this country has a really ugly history of not allowing people life, nor liberty, nor the pursuit of happiness. It's lip service. But if you can commit acts of love in the form of service, in the form of activism and organization, and even like
conversation
and mutual aid in your own hometown, like, then you're doing something. Like, I just don't have time for people that just hate in general. Like, everybody hates something sometimes, like it's natural to be a hater of something or other at some point in your life. But I'm so over even people that I love who are like hating on things. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing about it?
Right.
What are you fucking,
right.
If I don't want to listen to you.
I feel like I have like turned this thing where I'm like, I'm not wasting my time hating.
Right.
Cause it's just like, it is just a waste of energy and time.
It's just, nature abhors a vacuum. And I think hate is such a vacuum. Like, that's all it's trying to do is suck back things that shouldn't be, it's just trying to gather up things that have already like gone forth and prospered and progressed. And hate is just trying to put that toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, like in my case, like it doesn't even propel me to take action. Like my love of other people and my desire for them to have autonomy, have equal rights, have equality, like all of that. That's what motivates me.
Yeah.
Not my hatred of like Lauren Boebert and Donald Trump.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and once I realized that, I was like, oh, I can let go of my outrage and like insane anger at them. It's not that I don't see the injustice. It's like, it's just that in showing up to do the work isn't predicated on me hating something.
Right. And it's
about like wanting better.
Yeah. And that's not to say that anyone who is angry and who has hate in their heart for like righteous anger about things, it's not to say that that's not right.
No, I mean, yes. Okay.
It's not to say that.
I'm just trying to not focus on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to focus on other positive things and positive change that can be made in multiple different ways. And I do think that like energetically, love gets you further.
100%. 100%. And they exist. They're like, it's the light and the dark. It's the two sides of the coin. Like sometimes it's your righteous anger that comes as a result of how much you love something. And that's what inspires you to do the work. But the work is always, I think it always has to come out of love. Because if you didn't love something, you wouldn't work for it. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't work for it. There's just, it's not possible. It's not human nature to put forth any effort on behalf of something that you don't feel some amount of love for.
Well, guys, thanks for coming to our therapy session. And we have a really interesting guest today. This is wild.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Me too. Guys, we have the Long Island medium herself, Theresa Caputo. And when I tell you that we are thrilled to talk to her, we really are. Let's get to it. Oh, Print Fresh. Print Fresh is so great. It's a woman-owned luxury sleepwear and lifestyle brand in sizes ranging from extra small to 6X. That was a good one.
That was a good
Impromptu,
one.
even.
Wonderful.
Guys, the patterns are so cute on my jammies. I get more compliments on them. When I say more compliments, not like I'm running, like people aren't, like it's...
You're not going around in your jammies.
Wow. Although, I would.
You could. I wear my Print Fresh jammies out to...
I actually now reconsidering, and I think that with a cute heel,
yeah,
I would do it.
Yeah.
I love it.
The holiday shop on Print Fresh is up right now. Such cute prints and patterns for the holidays, but also just all of the prints and patterns are very festive. If you love color,
you know me. You know me.
Yes.
I'm a real
color and pattern.
Crazy pattern bitch.
It's for you. And the thing that I love about Print Fresh is it's colorful, it's patterned, but it's not childish, which I think
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You brought that point up once before and I agree. But they also have new holiday sleepwear. They've got travel bags, which I love to give as gifts, slippers, bedding, and more. They're all amazing gifts for everyone on your list. And they have a variety of styles, including men's silhouettes, and their sizes range from extra small to 6X. Everyone is guaranteed their perfect fit without sacrificing style or substance. I'm telling you, these are going to make the best gifts and just make everybody wear matching jammies this year. That's my favorite thing ever. And then tag us, please, in the photos.
We want to see it. We want
to see it. Guys, I just cannot tell you how excited I would be if I got Print Fresh jammies for Christmas and I already have a bunch. So go to printfresh.com/best or use our code BEST for 15% off your first order. See what's in store for the season and snag your gifts early or grab something for yourself. Or better yet, do it all. That's printfresh.com/best or use code BEST. Helix Sleep. You take the quiz, they tell you your mattress, it comes straight to your door. I mean, now I'm really on one. Guys, you've heard us talk about how Helix Sleep has changed both of our lives.
It's a life changer. Have you been missing your Helix mattress here? When
I
you're
really have. I mean, I'm not kidding. Part of the reason why I haven't been sleeping is the jet lag. And part of it, I think, honestly, is the mattress because it's not my Helix.
Yeah.
It is not my Helix sleep that I took the quiz and I was matched with just for me. It's incredible. Here's the other thing I want to say. I just want to point this out. A lot of people forget to get new mattresses.
Yes.
They're like, my mattress is fine. And then you're like, when did you buy it? And they're like, 2003.
Yeah.
Guys, time to get a new mattress.
Time to get a new mattress.
Time to get a new mattress.
Because you spend a third of your life almost in bed.
Listen, here's how you do it with Helix. They make it so easy. You take the quiz, you order the mattress that you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't ever have to go to a weird mattress store again and talk to some guy that makes you lie down, and it's very uncomfortable. Helix is awesome. You don't have to take our word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. And I have to tell you, they've got all kinds of mattresses. It's not just one mattress in a box that comes. They're different. They're soft, medium, firm mattresses that'll cool you down if you sleep hot. Helix Plus mattress for plus size folks. Guys, go to helixsleep.com/best. Take the 2-minute quiz. They'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and also you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free, which means if you're like, no, they will come and pick it up for you if you don't love it. But that's not going to happen. I'm telling you. But that's how confident they and we are in the mattresses. So Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/best. Go to helixsleep.com/best for up to $200 off all mattresses and 2 free pillows for you. We're having a little bit of a weird setup because we're so excited to be in person together because normally I'm in New York and Caissie's in LA, but I'm in LA.
Oh.
But then we were like, but to talk to Theresa, it's going to be difficult because we have to keep our microphones pointed away
from each other.
So then
we're like, we'll just wait. We'll lean in and
we're
wave
gonna lean
to you.
It's fine. Yeah, that's do the old lean in, right?
Yeah, we're going to lean in. Theresa.
We're so excited to have you here today. We're here
I'm
with
very excited.
the
This
Long
is so
Island
exciting.
medium and new grandma, Theresa Caputo.
New grandma.
Yes.
Congratulations. Not
Congratulations.
exactly new.
Thank you.
She's a few months old. She's like 10 months old now.
Oh, she's actually 9 months old today. She's downstairs. I can hear her now. She's like, yeah, I can hear. I don't know what she's doing, but she's very busy down there.
Oh my gosh.
9 months old are.
Congratulations. That's such a
Thank
fun
you.
age.
And it's such a treat to have you on our show.
Thank you.
I'm thrilled. I'm so curious. I have like questions about your mediumship. Wait, what do you call it?
What do you call it?
Mediumship.
Mediuming.
Yeah.
Mediuming.
Yeah, my mediuming.
You're mediuming. Is it like a thing that you always knew you could do when you were like a little kid?
Well, I didn't know what I was doing. Like,
Right,
that's the whole
right.
thing. So like, I'll tell, like I tell people are always very curious, like, what is the first thing you remember? And I can always remember seeing a woman standing at the end of my bed at night. Mm-hmm. And I always felt like somebody watching over me. Mm-hmm. And I can remember this from the age of 4. So,
Oh, wow.
Theresa, last night at dinner, I have a 14-year-old named Birdie and a 9-year-old named Cricket. And last night at dinner, we were reminiscing about our old house here in Los Angeles because we sold our house when we moved.
Don't tell me. They were like, oh, I used to see things.
No. We always knew. We always knew.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Birdie was little, she was like, so is the boy behind my curtains and with the blue shoes, like, is he there all the time? like when she was like a baby. And we were talking about it last night at dinner. You know, Birdie's 14 now. And she's like, yeah, he wore blue shoes. He liked to play hide and seek. He was behind my curtains. He wasn't scary. He just was there with me. And it made, I'm not afraid of that kind of stuff. And I am a person who's always also had like interesting, weird things happen.
Yeah.
So it didn't freak me out when baby Birdie did it, but like, what was your mom's reaction? Did you ever talk to your mom about it when you were little?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is what I tell people all the time. Like growing up, I would say to my mom, listen, I don't feel right. I feel different than everyone else. I don't feel like I belong here. And my mom literally said to me one day, listen, you belong to this family, so you shouldn't feel that way. Because that's an emotion that you can explain to a child. Okay, this is maybe why you feel this way, right? So, and no one ever made a big deal about things that I would say or do, because I come from a spiritual family. I come from a very strong faith family. I tell people this also. I'm like, look, I'm a practicing Catholic. They don't agree with what I do, but they take my money every week.
Well, the Catholics are great at that, guys. They are great at that.
But my point being is that we have to have some type of faith. We have to have some type of foundation. I mean, in our lives. That's just what I believe. And whether you want to refer to them as God, higher power, Yahweh, Buddha. I mean, I have Buddhas behind me. I don't know if you can see them. They got rosary beads hanging around their neck. I got Saint Theresa next to the Buddha with yoga beads around them, with prayer beads.
Sure.
I believe in all faiths and to just believe in a higher power. And I think when I share that with some people, it kind of is like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, do you think I agree with everything that the church said? I mean, I literally would walk into confession and go, yeah, I'm still talking to dead people. I channeled dead people this week. Like,
what's the penance for that?
I was just like, I think it was like one Hail Mary and one Our Father, like that was it.
Oh my gosh.
and then it got to the point where my pastor would say to me, anything new? Same old, same old. And I go, yep. And he go, okay, you know the drill. You're like, okay, one Hail Mary, one, it's just, but I was very lucky. Like my parents very supportive in what I do. And I just think that's just like a common, it's almost like something that I carry within me in life. I take everything as an experience. I take what is useful for me, what can help me. Yeah. And anything else that doesn't work for me, I don't focus on.
Right. That's interesting because I wonder, I've thought about that a lot too. Like if you've ever gotten a message for someone where you're like, this is an unhelpful, so much of what I think, like when people see mediums, they're seeking, right? They're seeking, they want an answer. And if something comes through that you like, do you ever have your own judgments about whether or not? Oh, really? You can't? Okay. I'm curious about the code.
Do you know why? I'm gonna say, listen, I can't speak for anyone. The things that I share with you is through what I've experienced from channeling spirit and what I've gone through. So what I learned a long time ago, this has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Spirit's just using my physical body as a vessel. It is not up to me what spirit has me say to someone. Okay. Because what I think might not be helpful can be life-changing to the person that I'm speaking to. And I'm going to tell you how this was validated through a reading that I did. I was doing a live show, thousands of people in the audience, and I'm channeling to this woman, her daughter. And I said to her, your daughter showed me that she was murdered, and then I can see a soul below her, but I can't channel the soul. And she's telling me that she wants you to know that he's remorseful, that he's sorry. And I'm saying to myself, I am not saying this to this woman.
Right.
And she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, that's why I came here. I wanted to know if he knew what he took from me and if he was remorseful for killing my daughter.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he then took his own life. It was her boyfriend.
Oh, my God.
And in that moment, that validated for me of, you know what, because I'm saying, I can't say this. I don't want her to think that they're together on the other side and, they're living in harmony. That wasn't the message. Like, I say to people, I can only lower my vibration so low. Okay. So I only channel souls that walk in God's white light so that I can feel and receive messages from.
Light team. We call them light teams.
The light
teams.
Yeah.
We have light teams.
What happens? So what happens is as souls learn lessons and they graduate these levels, I say, imagine as high school. As they graduate these levels, the closer they get to where they need to be. So what can happen is a soul can lower their vibration to come down to channel to help a soul, but I can only go so low, and a
Right.
soul can't raise if they don't have that ability to.
Right,
A lot of times when a soul might come through and apologize to someone and say, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people realize how powerful that is because when a soul says they're sorry, it means that they had to relive their life through that person's eyes. So they had to feel what it was like for that person to be disappointed by them, for them not to be there for them, whatever the situation is or was. And that's how the soul heals and grows.
Well, I'm glad spirits are good at apologizing because some people are really terrible at it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, things are very different, but how many times would souls, like, I'll say to someone, oh, your dad is apologizing for the not being there for you and understanding you here in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they'll literally say, that was the one thing that I needed from my dad. He never understood me. He didn't get me. And it's just, it amazes me. And still, after all these decades of channeling spirit, there is not one moment that I go into a reading or talk about my gift where spirit doesn't blow my mind, or I don't sit back and go, oh my God, that's crazy. How would I know that? How did I even get that? How did spirit get me to say that? So
that's so cool. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I have a question about like whether you ever like doubted your abilities. Like, was there ever a time when you were like, am I really doing this? Or is it just that I'm like highly perceptive and
probably about an hour ago. No.
That's amazing.
Well, no, like I'll sit there and say like, I would literally call up my friend and be like, am I really a medium? Like, and she'd laugh and she'd go, yeah, you told me some pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, you're a me. And then something will happen and she'll be like, see, but because it's crazy. Listen, I am the first one to say that what I do is crazy. How in the world can someone communicate with someone that has died, right? It's crazy to think because we can't physically see it. We can't physically touch it, right? So there are so many things that I receive validations over and over. And I've learned that because this has nothing to do with me, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this, I don't care if people believe in what I do. I want people to, first of all, believe in an afterlife. I want them to believe and to know. I believe that each and every one of us have the ability to connect with our own loved ones.
I believe that. Yeah, of course. I believe
some
that.
just have.
Anyone who listens to this podcast knows.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. They wonder, how could that be? How could this be? How could they do that? Whether if maybe they were ill, or maybe they took their own life, or they died unexpectedly, or someone's responsible for their death and no one's being held accountable for their death. How could my loved one be at peace with that? So there's a lot of reasonings why people might not understand an afterlife, not understand that a soul is a soul and a bond is a bond.
Right.
Right.
And also, like, I think that we hold on to, we're humans, so we are imperfect. So so it's hard for a lot of people to conceptualize perfection, right? Which is what a soul like in light is.
I think the first lesson in that is that there is no such thing as perfection. and even in spirit, like there's no perfection. They're learning. The souls are growing.
That's interesting.
The souls are learning. So nobody really is perfect.
Right.
There is no perfection because the soul is still learning and growing on the other side.
Okay, Theresa, did you see the movie Soul? The Pixar movie? I loved it so much. Did you feel like it was good?
Yeah, I did. I actually did. I only saw it once, and I saw it on like a fluke thing, like how I ended up seeing it. I loved it.
I love it so much.
I love it. And the other movie now, my granddaughter, she's only 9 months old, but she is obsessed with Moana.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love Moana.
So good.
And I'm like, I'm the grandma.
I love it. You are.
Like,
you are the magical
me.
grandma.
I'm the village crazy lady.
Okay, I was saying she's the magical lady in the village, not the crazy lady. But that is it is.
It's
what
true.
It is.
I just feel like I get kind of I don't know, I guess irritated with people who are skeptical because like, be a skeptic if you want. That's fine.
Right.
Like, I think healthy skepticism is great. I think it protects us from a lot of things that could do us harm. But I also think that you can't deny a feeling that someone else is having. And I think that ultimately, wherever a message comes from, to me, like if I want to believe like a butterfly is someone that was gone, like that is harmless. I'm not hurting anyone.
And my pennies from heaven.
Yeah,
I agree with you, because that's my main thing. You can not understand or be skeptical, however you want to interpret it, but don't take that away from someone else.
Right.
I agree.
You know, I remember years ago, this is probably going over 20 years ago, I had a woman that came, she lost her husband. And she had such a beautiful experience. She was crying. And she came back to me like a week later and said, my friends think that this is too general.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm like, as a friend, why would you ruin that for someone? Why would you want to take that from that? And here's the thing. I want to go back to this, what you were saying about Birdie. Young children are very connected to spirit, and also animals, because their minds aren't busy with burdens, guilt. We make up excuses. Think about it. Oh, I thought I saw someone go by. I thought I saw the shadow. I was tired, or I must just be, maybe it was I took, too much Advil last night, or, I drank too much wine, and I thought I saw someone. We make up excuses as adults, right?
Sure.
Young children, we just react and respond to whatever they sense and feel and see. And as they get older, some of them outgrow it, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But I've always said for all the years, like when I channel, souls, well, what they do is as I start to connect with spirit, they'll start to clear out my own personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Then they'll start to replace them with signs and symbols of things that I've experienced here in the physical world to relay messages to someone else.
Oh, interesting.
So I did actually years ago, I did it live where a brain expert actually read my brain as I was channeling someone.
Oh, wow.
And he literally said to me, you are able to access a part of your brain that we typically don't. And my brain literally flatlines, flatlines.
Oh my gosh.
So
be careful.
I know.
Wait, that is awesome. I'm obsessed with that. That's so cool.
Right? So I say, and I always say, I'm not asking anyone to believe in what I do. I want you to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Because, and especially, and how, and I don't know why this is important, because I usually not many people know this, but how I actually embrace my gift and do what I do was after 9/11.
Oh.
Because I was struggling with my gift because I couldn't understand for the life of me why would I be given this amazing ability, and who in the world would want to come see a medium and communicate with their loved ones that have died? I could not understand that for the life of me. And I had a spiritual experience where I had an experience with one of my spirit guides, and I was shown and told that people leave the physical world in very tragic ways, and their loved ones are left with not knowing where they are, if they were okay, if they were afraid, and they have trouble moving on.
Yeah.
And that was right after 9/11. So I literally put my gift in God's hands, and I said, if this is my soul's journey, then I am placing it in your hands. You open the doors, and I will gladly walk through them with my gift. And here I am.
That's really interesting. You mentioned having done this on TV. I think you were a guest on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen when I worked there. Do you remember that? And
yes, I was on there a couple of times. One of the cameramen I read.
The cameraman, yes. This guy Mark was just minding his own business. And I think Andy wanted to get all the tea on his light team. And I can't remember if anything was really coming through, but then you were like, I am looking for somebody here, and you nailed it. He had a friend that tragically died and was coming through, and that he was shook. He was shook after that. I remember him just being that was because he said that he wasn't even really paying close attention to what was happening because he was doing his job as a cameraman, and and he was and I'm a healthy skeptic, but you nailed every detail of his friend that had passed and had a message for him. So that was really interesting to see happen live,
Well, the other thing too is that I always say this is why I'm good at what I do, is because I say whatever it is that I sense and feel. Even though it doesn't make sense to me, I say it. People don't understand it. I move on from it. And then usually a few minutes later, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And a lot of times people that come to an experience, whether it's a private reading, a guest on my podcast, or one of my live shows, people that come with no expectations have the best experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always say this, a reading or an experience is what we need, not what we want.
Right.
Because a lot of people come walking in saying, okay, if this is you, Dad, I'm going to, you're going to tell me this, and this. And I say to people, your loved ones might tell you these things.
Right.
But I can guarantee you there are going to be a lot of things that are said that you're not expecting Spirit to bring up and talk about. And the reason why I have Spirit do that is because what I learned that there's only so many different ways that people can die. And there are common burdens and guilts that we carry. That's not my fault or Spirit's fault.
Right.
So Spirit has to validate it with little unique things that only you would know.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It is really
Yeah.
interesting.
I have a question. Do people come through with messages for you ever, or has someone
that's a good
else ever
question.
channeled messages for you?
Well, for me, it's hard for my own loved ones.
Okay.
That is actually something that I am dealing with now. I'll give you two examples. A couple of months ago, my brother and I went out to celebrate my birthday. And we don't buy each other gifts. We go out, we spend the day together, we do something really special together. And we're sitting at this play, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm your brother's friend. I died. Tell him I'm okay. And I'm like,
Oh, gosh.
and I'm like, looking at her, I'm like, I'm not saying anything to my brother. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. My brother didn't lose a friend. I don't know what you're talking about. Turned out later on, a really good friend of his, who I only met a handful of times, but he was very friendly with, just unexpectedly passed away.
Oh, wow.
And my brother was having a really, really difficult time at that point. And I didn't even know it.
Right.
And I said something to him, and all of a sudden he got like all like nervous and, like, how do you know that? And it just recently happened. I just recently lost my cousin, and I kept feeling that she wanted me to reach out to my other cousin. She literally had me say, Anthony is wondering if I came to you. Tell him yes, and I'm okay. So I'm like, all right. So I texted him, and he's like, oh my God, I was just thinking that. Like, has Carol went to Theresa yet? But like, I think because this is what I do, I never wanted to be with my family. Oh, here she goes again, using her gift. And then there's that other thing of, well, she knows she's the family.
Right.
So I would say my family gets screwed out of messages all the time. So
No.
It's like the cobbler's
Theresa.
children.
but now like I'm working through that and trying to like, because sometimes I'll even sit back and say to myself,
Right.
is that me remembering something? Am
Right.
I, just trying to make myself feel better in this moment? So I get that
Right.
and I understand that.
I feel like even if it is, like I had an experience one time where I was like newly pregnant and I hadn't told anyone that I was pregnant, and I had bleeding, and I called my doctor, and she was like, it's Friday. If you continue to bleed over the weekend, it means you're having a miscarriage. Come in on Monday. And I was in a pizza parlor, and a young guy came up to me, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I never do this, but there's a lot of noise around you. Are you pregnant? And I said, yes. And he said, and you're scared that you're going to lose the baby? And I said, yes. And he said, everybody's telling me to tell you, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. And I was like, okay. And that made me feel better in that moment. And I was like, I don't know what that man's ability was. Even if I was just putting out some energy that he was picking up on, that he told me
You were
like,
grateful for it.
what I needed to hear in
Yeah,
that
you were
moment.
grateful
I was
for it.
grateful for it. But he did say he's going to be okay. And I did have a boy,
have a
and he
boy.
was okay. Yeah. He was very okay. He was
No,
giant.
he's 23 years
23
old.
years old
He's
now,
23
yes.
years old. He made it. He made it out of the womb.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the mechanism was by which he delivered that news to me, and I don't really care. He just told me what I needed to get through the weekend in that moment, and I was grateful for it.
How many
1000%.
people do you think have these gifts? Like, you know what I mean? I know you probably, like.
I mean, we all have the gift. How many people have the ability to do what I do?
Yeah.
I don't know. That I
Do you
couldn't
meet other
answer.
people like other mediums, other people who are really connected spiritually?
Very rare. I mean, sometimes I'll be reading someone and I'll say, you can do what I do, but that doesn't mean quit your day job.
Right.
Look, this isn't, people could also have the ability to do what I do, but that doesn't mean that they should become a medium.
Right.
Well, I also,
because it's not easy.
Right. I was wondering
always say
about like
this.
that energy. Like, how do you turn it off? Do you turn it off? Can you turn it off?
I think I do something subconsciously. I don't think there is a way to turn it on and turn it off because I get things that I'm not expecting to get or to feel.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, like, I have no idea what's happening, but right now, because what happens is when I feel spirit, they make me feel an emotional bond that someone shared with someone, but then they actually bring me through their departure. So I have this this pain in my chest, and I literally feel like I cannot take a deep breath. But what is intriguing to me is the pain. And it's like right here. So sometimes that could be a blow to the chest and then the breath, but then there's no other message behind it. So my rule is to spirit, if they want me to say something, they have to show me three things. I have to feel the bond and relationship. You have to bring me through your departure. Then you have to show me the sign and the symbol of the burden or guilt or any negative emotion that is holding that person back from healing. Then I will say something.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just, so I always feel things. I always sense things, but a lot of times they're not, it doesn't mean that I'm supposed to say something.
Right.
And it's so interesting because even when you watch Long Island Medium, every person that I randomly approach, never once has a person looked at me and said, what are you, crazy? Get away from me.
Right.
Not one.
Right.
Not one. And even if people didn't know who I was, but this is why I say my gift is guided. It is guided by spirit. You want to say higher power?
Right.
Guided by the universe, how you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
But I know that I am placed in people's paths for a reason.
Yeah. And I also think like that your advice about not everyone can be a medium is, you're good with people. You're a personality and you'd probably be an excellent therapist if you weren't a medium. So I think,
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. So,
But I'm just being me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be anything else. What you see is what you get. Literally, my therapist said that to me. She goes, I had no idea who you were. She says, the thing that I love about you the most is that the person that I saw on TV is the person that I see every week on my couch.
People say that about me too. Just FYI. My therapist does say that too. But I'm like, but a lot of times people will ask, like my old assistant, Ray, is like, oh my God, the number of people that ask me, and you, I'm sure, get it all the time about me.
Yeah.
Like, is she really like that in real life? And he's like, she's exactly the same as she is.
I'm still friends with friends that I went to elementary school with and stuff. And one of them is a pilot. And he said he gets all these questions like, oh, she can't be that dramatic. He goes, you know what? You're right. She's not. She is far more dramatic in person than she is on TV.
She's toning it down for television, everyone. That's so funny.
And it's crazy. One of my good dear friends, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but now that I look back on it, his dad had passed away when he was younger. And I remember saying things to him and feeling things and like seeing his dad around. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing it back then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's that's so interesting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Birdie definitely has still. I mean, I feel like we all are a little in my family line.
Yeah. Both of my kids had like reincarnation kind of vibes. They'd be like, remember when we were in a horse and buggy? And they'd be like very detailed. And I'd be like, no, that never happened. But this is an interest. I'm interested in hearing what went on.
Tell me more.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I always say deja vu is the soul remembering your experience in a previous lifetime.
Oh, interesting.
I do love a deja vu.
I do too. Yeah.
I always love a good deja vu. But like, it's to say, when you have fears for something, there's no like, let's say I have a fear of spiders. Why should I have a fear of spiders? Right? There's no reason, right? You probably never even seen a spider before, never had, who knows? You might have been bitten by a spider back in the day and died from a spider bite. Right. You don't know, because I've done many. You talk about regressions. I've done past life regressions.
Oh, interesting. Do you do that for people or for yourself, or what do you mean? Just for yourself?
I did it for myself. Probably about over 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I remember one regression that I did. I was a gentleman, and I was in a fire, and I was searching for someone frantically, and I found the guide asked me, and I said, I found my brother that I was looking for. And they said, look in the eyes of your brother. Who do you see? And I saw my nephew, Jason, who was a baby at the time, who was just born. So, you talk about soul circles and reincarnation, and there's so much more to what I do as a medium than just channeling people that have died.
Yeah.
My main thing is giving people the gift and peace so they can move on with their life, knowing that their loved ones are safe and at peace and still with them, just in a different way.
Right.
But there's so many different, I feel like with the two of you, like there's so many different ways that we can dive into my ability, my gift, to talk about different things. They're very deep conversations, so it's very, very interesting.
That's so cool.
I know, it really is.
I've been thinking about all of this so much because like what's happening with Twitter right now, and people are like, Twitter's gonna shut down any second, and people are like, how will we find each other? And it reminds me so much of like this weird like life that we've all cultivated is like possibly ending. It's a little bit like a rapture, and I'm like, we'll find each other if we're meant to.
I'm not really into Twitter. I'm not into the social media.
Good.
It's just, I just don't find it.
You have like a whole, your own social media platform going on in the air around you. You don't need it.
But that reminds me of Maniscalco. He did a skit on, and I can remember this so clearly. People would, your doorbell would ring years ago, and your mother, everyone would come running down the stairs, get the door. Your mother would be like, come in. Make the Sanka, get the Entenmann's, right? Today, the doorbell rings and it's like, who the heck's at the front door? Who's this coming to the house? It's like this crazy novelty of like someone be like, years ago, I was like, I was in the neighborhood, I want to stop by, say hi. Be like, oh my God, come on in, right? And then it would turn into like a whole day. Next thing you know, you're having dinner, you're playing cards, you're drinking coffee, and you're having Entenmann's crumb cake.
Oh my God. Entenmann's. I really miss it.
People might not understand.
I love Entenmann's pound cake.
Entenmann's.
Frozen.
My husband.
I love anything Entenmann's.
Me
loves
too.
the fudge ice cake. My husband loves me a lot, and he loves that fudge iced yellow cake as much as he loves me, I think.
Oh, he must love you a lot.
That's insane. No, I know. I think that's interesting though. Like it's an interesting point. I do think that, I mean, you have your podcast. I think that podcasts are creating senses of community, and we see it like even with our podcast, our fans have really connected with one another in like a very real and meaningful way because we like talk to people that we like, and we talk about these things and what is life and where are we going, and
and how we're all kind of the same.
We're all kind of the same and connected. And like the more that we can sort of like meet it with love and with that idea of the things that we have in common as opposed to the things we, instead of the negative spin on it.
Yeah.
Like sort of like the more fulfilled you feel as a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I even see that community, like even like with a live show. I'll watch. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so curious about yes, I want to know about the live shows.
Like I'll watch them embrace strangers.
Yeah.
People are embracing strangers, and then they've helped each other with their grief, along the way, and then they became friends. I actually had a couple. It was actually happened on Long Island Medium where they actually got married. They met at one of my live shows.
Oh my God!
And they got married, and I actually married them. It was an episode on Long Island Medium.
Oh my God, that's amazing!
Years back, yeah. But it just shows you on the community, and the great thing about podcasting. Like I wasn't into podcasts,
yeah.
And that was one of the positive things that came out of me for COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Was the podcast, like realizing, okay, you know what? Zoom is the new phone reading for me. But it brought so much more because you feel like even though you guys are in LA, like I feel like I'm just in the next room.
Yeah, you are.
Yes,
That's what I feel like too. Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love. And you still feel that energy and being able to read people not only all over the country, but all over the world.
Right.
And then what I also find different with the podcast is when you listen to, because I find it with myself when I listen to it, you know, it's almost like, because you're listening, it's almost like you can go through your own grief, can kind of visualize it for yourself. You know, it's different than watching the show, like watching it because you're so focused on what they're doing. The person it might be crying.
Right.
You're watching the healing take place, but now you're listening to it, and I feel like you feel it so much more, and you take away so much more, I think.
Oh, I think that's really interesting and really a great observation because
I'm taking a picture of us because we look cute. We look cute.
Theresa, we always ask our guests who come on the podcast to share with us a story about a big pivot that they've faced in life. And it seems like you've had probably a million, but is there one that you are interested in sharing with us?
Well, I think there were two huge pivots in my life. The first one would be my gift and what I do.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to, you know, tell my parents, right, listen, you know, I talk to dead people was, you know, crazy in itself, you know, and then to be able to take that and move forward and to have that strength and courage and resilience to be where I am with my gift was huge.
Yeah.
I couldn't even leave my house. I mean, I literally couldn't leave my house. So to pivot from not being able to leave my home or even going to the Target around the block to now flying by myself, going on an elevator by myself. You know, these are all things that might seem like, well, why can't you do that? Like that's, for me, that it was crippling.
Yeah.
And then also everything that I knew. I mean, I was with my ex-husband since I was 17.
Wow.
You know, and then to have to go through a divorce was also pivoting and life-changing.
Yeah.
So I've been through a lot, but I have to say I am very, very blessed. I attribute a lot of it, I'm actually becoming emotional, to my parents. I have the most amazing parents. I still live next door to my parents. I still live right next door to where I grew up. And with everything as my crazy Ralph Cramden things and, you know, ideas and things like that, you know, I always had the support of my parents.
That's really lucky.
We might not have had much, but we always had love and support.
Yeah.
And my parents have supported me through everything in my life. And I also feel that I have not had a lot of tragedy in my life. I've been very blessed. Yes, I have lost loved ones.
Right. But trauma,
Too,
you haven't had your own, like a lot of trauma,
right?
Your own trauma.
I mean, what I go through every day with people that I have, you know, the amazing privilege to share my gift with. I mean, what they go through, some of it is, I mean, there's times where I stop and I say, I don't even know what to say to you.
Right.
Like, it literally startles me, rattles my soul to think that someone could have died in that way, or this is now what you were left with. And so I consider myself extremely lucky and very blessed. And I think it's also the way that my mom and my parents have raised me in a way of looking at things where, you know, that old saying, when one door closes, another one opens. But I think the main thing that I took from it was, it is what it is, but it is what I make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
You know, things happen for me, not to me.
I really like that.
Oh, that's really good.
There were things that happened to me where, you know, and it was when I was going through my divorce, you know, my separation and my divorce, I had a very, very traumatic experience. I was in Hawaii and I was knocked over by a wave. I tore my ACL. I almost drowned.
Oh my God.
I almost drowned. A man
terrifying.
2 hours before that died actually in the exact same spot where I was.
Oh my God.
And I was on tour. I was doing live shows. I did every single show. I flew on my days off for opinions and to set up surgeries, and I never missed a beat. And I said to myself, you know what? This is a wake-up call. Like, I feel like God was saying to me, listen, you need to pay attention. You need to put things in priority. You need to start take care of yourself. And it was almost like, I really believe that. Like, it was this stopping moment of saying, okay, you need to pay attention.
Yeah. Wow. I fell down the front steps of my brownstone a couple weeks ago. We talked about it on the podcast. Like, flew down. Like, I can't believe I didn't die. And I felt like we talked about
the same thing.
I said literally the exact same thing on the podcast, that I was sober. I had been like hosting an event for the ACLU that night. It was raining. I got home. I was like just doing too much too fast, and I wasn't paying attention. And I like slipped and literally fell down the entire flight of stairs at my brownstone. And I said like, this was like a wake up call. Thank God I was not injured at all. It was pretty remarkable.
Yeah. From that, you took, even though nothing tragically happened to you, you took that as a sign, a wake up and saying, okay, you know what? I need to slow down.
I need to slow down.
And you know what? I just think that's a general message for people. I think in today's world, everything is go, 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 right? And we need take some time, breathe, enjoy the moments. I've learned now when I go out and so I don't even want to bring my phone.
Right.
I want to enjoy the moment. I don't want to be taking pictures and videos. No, I want to live it. I don't want to relive it through a lens.
Yeah.
And then I want to live in that moment.
It's so funny. We went the other night to Elton John.
Oh my God! Stop it!
It was
shut up. It had to be the most moving, unbelievable experience.
My 14-year-old cried. My friend Jen, I cried. Emily, we all cried at one point or another.
Wow!
And it was so just incredible and magical. And I did post some like good pictures, but when I was looking, I was like, oh, I have barely any photos from the thing. Yeah. Because I just was like, in the presence of this like genius. And like with, however many people are in Dodger Stadium. I can't even imagine how many, 50,000?
6 million. I don't
6
know.
million. It felt like a million. It was like, so, and watching this person who's like been who's an icon and so incredible. And we really Birdie, my 14-year-old, did not take her phone out one time. Didn't take a picture, didn't take a video, was just like singing and love. It was really special. And the guy in front of us, by the way, was Emily, my best friend Emily and I were joking. He was the one that was live streaming it internationally for Disney Plus. That guy was filming the entire thing. And I was just like, dude, why? Just enjoy it, you know?
Yes.
But there is something to be said for that. I think more people are kind of like coming to that realization around now.
I think it took us a while to learn that like you never go back to that either.
Right.
Whenever you capture so many moments from something, you never go back to it because it can never compare to the memory that you have, the picture that you've painted in your mind. So I think that we're slowly learning, and I can't blame us for like trying it. Like, who doesn't want to capture a beautiful picture of the moon? It's impossible. You can never make the moon look as good as it looks in the sky.
No, it's true.
So, but we try 1,000 times before we're like, oh, you're not
and
supposed.
That bitch is photogenic.
You're not supposed to capture the moon. You're not supposed to.
Right.
Yeah, so,
you're not.
So
you're not.
I think we all have learned that we're never going back through those videos and those. And those photos.
I hope people like. Yeah, I think that it's. I also think that there's something to like. You seem like you're very grounded, even though you like have all of this going on. Do you feel like very in your body? Do you do any like grounding practices?
Constantly. And I think I do a lot of things subconsciously as well. I always say, I don't mean to quote Lady Gaga, but I was born this way.
You were born this way.
I was born this way. Like, I don't know any different. Like, it comes so natural to me. And I think that I work very hard at creating amazing energy for myself and for those around me. And I've learned to be very careful of who I choose to share that energy with.
Sure. Good. Well, we're so grateful that you chose to share it with us today.
Absolutely. But I love that it's almost like, yes, I'm spiritual. I have these connections. I see signs. I see the butterflies, the pennies from heaven, and all these things. But yet you're not a medium. Like, I love that. Right?
Yes.
Like, and that's what I want people to know. whatever it is, whether if it's listening to the podcast, my live show, I want them to walk away knowing that they have that ability.
Yes.
I say they're little hellos from heaven.
They are, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think about, like, I know what in my personal experience the different signs are and who they are from, and my light team.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that when people sort of tune into their own light team, everybody's got different stuff. Some people it's like feathers. Some people it's like playing cards. I never see playing cards, by the way. But I have like I know a couple people who are like, oh, I always see diamond playing cards, and that's like my grandpa. You know? And I've just you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have like a few different things that I know what they are, but like the pennies are
big for you.
Big one.
Yeah. Butterflies for me, Prince songs.
Oh, Prince
following
songs.
me.
Prince songs are the craziest with Caissie. Because I've experienced it where we walk into a place and it's playing some like elevator music, like Beethoven or something, and then all of a sudden, like Little Red Corvette comes on, and I'm like, what? How did that happen?
Yes, but those are the things. Like that's what I would say. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to, and it's whoever you think of in that moment or who it reminds you of.
Yeah.
That is them.
That's the sign, and that's saying like hi.
That's the sign.
Yeah.
1,000%. But somebody did die of something. I just felt it. Like I did. Like remember I explained to you before. Like
Yes,
I
you
have to
go through.
I have to feel all those things. But I am going to say this. Well, who is the father figure that is departed?
I mean, my dad's passed.
Okay. So I just asked the soul to step forward. And did he fill up with fluid, or was there something in the chest with him?
Yes, he had a heart attack.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, because I looked at him, I go, didn't I see you before? He goes, yeah. So when I said earlier, I felt this chest and this thing here.
Yeah.
So no. Oh, your dad was funny.
He was funny.
Tell her, even if I went to the doctor, I still would have died. So almost like, and I want Spirit to kind of communicate with that personality to, again, validate that it is them. So that's why I like to share if they were funny, if they were very serious, if they were very stern. So, and I felt like that was his way. So I feel like that was a double message for you there.
Yeah.
Like even if I wasn't feeling well, and even if I went to the doctor, doesn't mean that I still would have survived. It might have only affected my quality of life, not my quantity of life. And how do you connect with the number 13? So 13 for me means several. It could be someone's favorite number. It could be the 13th of any month. So numbers can mean multiple different things. It can stand for like the number 13 as far as a day in the month.
Oh, he died on February 13th.
Okay. Yeah. To validate that his to validate that his soul. Oh, and your dad also shows me that he passed. He's been gone for some time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because when they show me things where you grow, so like when they show me graduation, wedding, birth of a child, it's my symbol for that you feel that your dad has missed out on all of these milestones in your life.
He has.
So know that he hasn't, because he just showed me the bouquet with the picture in it. So did you get married after your dad died, or did you have children after? Because it has to be a major milestone.
I think, well, I was married before he died, and my children were born before he died, but they were young, they were kids, and they're grown up men now.
So it could be their graduation. It could be their, because it has to be all of these milestones.
Yeah, he missed all that stuff. Yeah.
But who got married or who's getting married? Because he keeps bringing up a wedding again.
My God, if Lincoln is, if this is how we find out that Lincoln has asked his girlfriend to marry him, Caissie, I swear to God.
Look, it could be if you have a sibling. It could be, someone within the family.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. That's a good question.
So don't be surprised, because he keeps showing me. Now, a lot of times when souls show me something, like I can't misinterpret. And again, it's my symbol.
Right.
So sometimes Spirit might show me something just to get me to say it to you.
Yeah.
So what Spirit shows me is a bouquet. They wrap the bouquet with a hanky. Okay. And then he puts the picture inside of it. So that's usually my symbol for when a woman loses a dad.
Yeah.
And she does something in memory of them for the wedding.
Okay.
Now, it could be it could be, you can have your own meaning. You might say, oh, you know what? I carried a locket with my dad's picture in it, or I do have my dad's hanky, or my cousin did that for her dad, or my dad. So there could be multiple meanings for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just validating again, or it could just be that you feel that he's missed out on so much in your children's life, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Validating that his soul has attended it in spirit. I want to ask you this. Do you have pictures where you actually see either, I feel like it's more than just an orb. I feel like I actually see like a silhouette, or I actually see an image.
Like when I take a picture, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I would think that happens sometimes.
Okay. So you also have to understand, years ago, we used to have double exposure. Right. How do you get that with a smartphone? You don't, right?
You don't,
so that's when they show me, it's their way of validating, like your dad is showing me the presence in the photo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Validating that is him acknowledging that his soul has attended it in spirit.
Oh,
do you see the shadows in the house?
Shadows in the house? I mean, well, my house is very sunny.
No, when a soul puts me in a hallway with 3 bedrooms and a bathroom.
Okay.
And then I see a dark, because this is the way I see spirit. So this is my interpretation. You have to place it. When I see the dark shadow go from one room to another, that's my symbol for where either you sense or feel something in a particular area in your house.
That is my house. You just described like it's three bedrooms and a bathroom on a hallway. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Validating that is your dad. Like, I don't have that in my house. Like, like this is the thing that people don't understand. I don't have that in my, so whatever it is that you feel, you could be at the kitchen sink and you might feel that someone's standing behind you and you look, there's nobody there.
Yes.
Or you might walk and be like, oh my God, I feel like I thought I just saw something go by. Just know that it's your dad.
Yeah. Sometimes I mean, I'm going to sound like woo as hell right now, but sometimes I feel like it's hard to remember someone's voice that you haven't talked to in a long time. But sometimes I feel like he whispers in my ear a little bit. So it's
interesting. He just had me say, tell her that is me that she hears.
Yeah.
And then you did get the opportunity to say goodbye to your dad. So know that there was nothing left unsaid. So know that anything that you said to him that you thought that he did not hear, whether it be in your own personal thoughts or prayers, maybe it was something that if you had the opportunity to sit with his physical body.
Yeah.
Know that he heard you say goodbye, because I can feel you hold my hand. So did you sit with your dad?
I didn't sit with him. It was very sudden. I think I've told this on the podcast before, but the night that he died, our doorbell rang like 3 times in the wee hours of the morning.
And nobody was there.
Was there. And then we found out that he had passed in the morning. But I did do my version of communicating with him after that.
So know whatever it is, he heard you.
Yeah.
Nothing was left unsaid. Your dad just showed me that you have this picture. I don't know if this is, because you just said that you spoke about it on the podcast. So I said, well, now you have to validate it. And he says, so he showed me a picture of him wearing a white t-shirt and then you as a child. Yeah. That's just my symbol for where you have a very old picture.
I know that picture.
I do have a picture of me as a baby and he's in a white t-shirt and
and it's not something that a lot of people would know about. Correct?
No, not too many.
You didn't share it on the podcast. So validating that when you look at that picture, because your dad also showed me my symbol of thanking you for keeping the things that had no monetary value, but meant the world to him and or you, whatever it may be. Yeah. Even though you might not have a lot of physical or valuable things of his, knowing that he wants to thank you for keeping the things that really had no monetary value.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I do have his like prized possession, which it was interesting because I was kind of surprised that everyone was willing to let me have it. It just wasn't that kind of family situation, but I do have it. And it's like, it's out in my house.
Okay. So know that he wants to thank you for treasuring and keeping those things. How do you connect with baseball?
Oh, my dad he was a really talented baseball player.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah.
I asked him to validate and he showed me, and I don't know why this is my symbol. It's the weird, I'm not a Met fan. I'm not really any type of baseball fan, but he showed me a 69 Mets ball. Like, I guess that's a year that they won that. So he showed me a signed base. So that's just my symbol for baseball. With someone loved baseball, it has something to do with baseball.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
and
yeah.
He also tipped a baseball hat.
Yeah.
So whether if you have his hat, you kept his hat, knowing that his soul hasn't left you even after all these years.
Aw, that's so nice. That makes me feel so happy.
Did one of your children get a scholarship or some type of funding for school? Or why did he show me a special award with school? They graduated, is that correct? Or
Well, one's on his way, but he's taking a little break, and one did graduate last year.
did they receive like some type of special honor or acknowledgement?
Well, I don't know if it could be this, but it would make sense. My younger son he graduated in the pandemic. And so there was no graduation.
Okay.
So he decided to mount a social media campaign to get Barack Obama to give a national commencement address, which happened. So it might be that.
So he got listen, I am not going to get that. I don't have a sign or a symbol for that.
Yeah, he was like honored by his high school and had he got to be on TV a lot. And
shut up.
Yeah.
See, these are the things that I'm like, are you kidding? Like, there's no way I would know that, but it has to be something that you feel that it would be something that your dad wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
Validating on how proud he is of your family. And more importantly, what an amazing, he showed me a symbol for great mom, but it's more of what an amazing person you are, of how you're always so willing to give yourself instead of, give up things for you to help someone else.
That's right. That's so nice. I appreciate that he would say that. Thank you. Thanks for telling me that.
Don't thank me, thank him. I didn't.
Thank you, Dad.
It's really sweet. And it's really true. I'm glad that your dad sees you.
Me too.
Because I go, you look familiar. He goes, yeah, because I saw you. And I'm like, But so I felt him earlier. But again, it might have been something where he's like, it could also be a respect thing or something that the both of you were being respectful for, to show, just to acknowledge the energy and the space.
Right. Right.
So neat.
Yeah.
We got a reading from the Long Island Medium.
That's amazing. I never thought in a million years that would happen.
Well, he also told me that you connect with the time. So when a soul shows me a watch, it could be specifically you have a watch.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, I have the clock that used to hang in their house. But for time, it's my symbol for where you look at the clock and either the time is always the same, the numbers are the same, or they have a special meaning.
Yeah.
Like 9/11, 11/11, 3/3/3, 4/4/4, or you see the time that he died or the date that he died or his birthday.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. I think about time in relation to his mother a lot, because she used to always say that she could never wear a watch, that her body stopped watches. And
because my body stops watches.
Yes. But she always said that about herself. Wow. So,
I stop watches.
Yeah. And then
I stopped all electronics.
And she was like that too. She would say that now I think I'm stopping clocks because it seems like when I look up, and they were very close. My grandmother, my Grammy, and my dad were very close and good buddies, which I think is like a little unusual for a mother-son relationship. Not something I'd experienced a lot, but it's something that I really looked up to and wanted to emulate with my own son.
And you have.
I have, yeah.
You really have.
Yeah.
So
and what I love about that, it's validating that a sign or a symbol can have a different meaning for you.
Yeah.
It's what it means for you.
Well, that's what I think is so wonderful about anything in the realm of what we're talking about is it's what it means for you. Do I think a crystal has magical powers? No. Do I think carrying around a crystal with me sometimes will remind me of what my intention is for that day? Yes, obviously. If you put a rock in your pocket that you're going to touch a bunch of times.
I have all my stones, I have my stones out.
I love my crystals.
They have energy.
Yeah.
They have energy. But do I am I lockbox and sterile? what is that? Lock, stock, and barrel.
Yeah.
And all of no, but I have certain grounding stones that I just think they're important. They're energy, and they can affect you. Sometimes a stone, if it's not right for you, it can affect you in a negative way.
Right.
So people have to be very careful with the stones that they place and that they also put together.
Right.
I think that's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Theresa, thank you for telling me all that stuff about my dad. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Well, when you think of him, you're talking to him.
Yeah.
So even if we just think of our departed loved ones, to them, that is celebrating and honoring them. Even if you have something, even if you eat like a favorite food that they liked, like they consider that celebrating. Celebrating your loved one doesn't always have to be, we're going to all get together and we're going to release balloons. We're going to release butterflies and we're going to do lanterns.
Right.
It can be simply it's anything that you incorporate within your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a thing that I encourage people who lose someone who are really feeling like at a loss is that I was talking about my grandmother and my father, they would sit and have coffee for a really long time together in the afternoons. And it was always like a really big deal for him that he would even when his life was a mess, he would stop and have coffee with his mom and take a really long time. And so I've made it a practice to never rush coffee. I have to get up early enough to have coffee and just sit with it and never take it in a to-go cup because that's in my imagination that I'm sitting with my dad and visiting with him. So, so I'm always telling people just sit down and have tea with the person that you're thinking of and just don't be distracted and don't be in a rush to get anywhere and don't be embarrassed about it, but just sit with them, because who's to say that that's not real,
Who's to say? It's the same thing for me. I tell people, they look at me because I'm a medium that I connect with my loved ones in every way that everyone does. And it just isn't so. Everyone is different.
Right.
And I also tell people at the end of the day, we are going to grieve the loss of our loved ones for the rest of our lives here in the physical world. And the healing process is something completely different. And that's what I hope I am able to do and to help people is to heal.
Yeah.
And to be able to release the things that hold them back from healing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I appreciate that that's what you're trying to do for people because I think people need it,
Yeah, I agree.
1,000%. And I think that's the thing that I love about the two of you is that you're just spreading this positive energy and this, and I think it's also in a lot of the realm of what I believe. We've all lost something. I'll use the pandemic as an example.
Sure.
We might not have personally lost a person, but we've all lost something in our life. And, 2 years prior to the pandemic, I wrote my last book called Good Morning. It talks about that a loss is a loss. Did you ever think that you had to mourn a loss of an argument? How many people that I literally wrote about that, a loss of a friendship,
right?
A loss of a job.
One.
A loss of retiring, how people would feel after they retired. They never thought that they would feel. You have a right to grieve that.
The first year of this podcast was me mourning the house that I sold in Los Angeles because I really was so energetically connected to that house and I loved it so dearly. And because it was the pandemic and how we moved was so weird.
Yeah.
We never went back or said goodbye to it. And I was I would sob.
Unmoored.
I was unmoored. And no one talks to you that that's legit. You can mourn moving houses, even though it's not, it wasn't right for us. We needed to sell, we shouldn't go back to that house ever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it was still something that you lost.
Yes.
And that you had to give up.
Yes. And it hurt. It really hurt. It was painful, but it's interesting. I think people sometimes don't frame the mourning, like you say, of sort of everyday occurrences.
Yes.
And sometimes just identifying it for what it is changes it.
Absolutely.
Once I really started accepting that I was mourning this house and my old life, I was able to move forward. But it wasn't until then.
Right.
That
makes sense. I think sometimes I even mourn ideas that I had.
Oh, gosh.
That like I know are never going to come to pass, like an idea for who I was going to be. And I'm not that person, or like a relationship that I was going to have that I pictured having with someone that I never had.
Yeah, like that relationship I didn't have with Chelsea, so that I wasn't invited to that wedding that looked amazing.
Busy's very upset that she did not get to go to a wedding that I got to go to.
But it was just because we didn't become friends, and I'm bummed. I want to go back in time so I could have gone to the wedding.
You gotta,
Seemed like such a fun party.
It was a really fun party. But here's what I'll say. Become friends now. I'm sure they'll have other amazing parties in the future.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
And
There's always a good party.
Maybe
you'll be invited to one of my epic parties.
I was going to say, maybe
I'm
Teresa
on the East Coast, Teresa. I'm on the East Coast.
There you go. There you go. People still talk about my 50th birthday party.
Oh,
and that
my
was 5
God.
years ago.
I bet it was
my
banger.
40th was something else.
Yes, it was.
All right,
really
stop
good.
bragging. Now you're just 40, okay?
Well, it was a couple few years ago.
It was
now,
three
so,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Teresa, thank you so much for spending so much time with us and being open. And I mean, you're just really so delightful.
Oh, you guys are amazing. And I want to thank you for just giving me the opportunity just to be me and to talk about my gift and to really, because I think a lot of times people have misconceptions also.
Yeah.
Of what I might do, or even who I am. And I'm able to do so many beautiful and amazing things through the work that I do. And I am so proud and honored that people trust me with the souls of their departed loved ones.
It's really sweet.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you. You're so fun and you're just a nice person.
Thank you. Well, yeah. Well, you guys, well, we'll have to get together being that you're on the East Coast.
I'm in the city. So good to see you.
Thank you. Very
It was
nice
so
to meet you
fun
both.
to meet you and talk.
And I love coffee. So
Okay. Come have coffee.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Have a very blessed Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. I had some travel packs of athletic greens, and I'm so grateful because I brought them with me on this trip.
Oh, that's really smart, I think, because you got
to keep it regular.
When you're traveling, you really do have to just do everything that you can to feel like your best self. And athletic greens is like a thing that we both do every day.
Guys, this partner that we're talking about right now, our next partner, has a product that we literally use every day. We started taking athletic greens for different reasons.
Yeah.
I truthfully wanted to improve my digestion, and I felt like I wasn't getting enough leafy green, iron, vegetable sourced vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
When I moved to the East Coast.
Yeah.
And I've noticed such a huge difference because with one delicious scoop of athletic greens, I get 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens that help really start my day right. I really like it.
Yeah.
And it really does help my tummy. It helps all kinds of stuff. My gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy.
And for me, I have to be honest, my doctor asked me to do this regimen of vitamins and minerals that I was deficient in. And I really hated it because I was opening 10 million bottles of different supplements.
It's exhausting.
It's
taking
exhausting.
all of those vitamins, it's just exhausting.
So now I just do it with one scoop, and it's easy to have a habit. It couldn't be simpler.
And it costs less than $3 a day.
Right. And so it's keeping me on track, and I just feel a million times better.
Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. It's also lifestyle friendly. We've said this before. I'll say it again. If you're keto or paleo or vegan or dairy-free or gluten-free, you can drink it. You can have it. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything. Still tastes delicious. It does. It tastes really good. AG1 is one small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself, guys. We love it. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially because it feels like it's always flu and cold season. Let me tell you something. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs, which is what I'm using right now, with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/busy. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/busy to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We love you, Athletic Greens. I love that we're like in gifting season.
Yes.
I'm gathering my gifts. I'm thinking of things. Cricket ordered some Little Words Project bracelets, custom
for her friends. Oh, I love that. That's so thoughtful.
And I think it's really thoughtful too. And it's like such a good gift.
Yes.
Like for kids, but for also like for your friends, like for our friends. It's like nice to have a little reminder, to wear around your wrist.
Yes, because they're customizable, or you can order like a pre-chosen word on your Little Words bracelet.
I mean, should we do a collab with them and make doing our best? Bracelets?
So
I don't know why we didn't think of that before. I don't know. Guys, Little Words Project is the original word bracelet brand founded on the belief of being kind to yourself and to others. Little Words bracelets are made to be worn and loved, and then maybe one day passed on to someone who needs that little word of encouragement more than you do. The best part? Each bracelet has a unique code on the tag, and you can register it on their website so you can track where your bracelet goes as it inspires from wrist to wrist. And they have regular and the custom bracelets. They make amazing gifts for everyone on your list this holiday season, and it's at an amazing price. So, want to empower yourself and spread kindness to others with the original word bracelet? Well, we have a very special offer for our listeners. Go to littlewordsproject.com/busy or enter busy at checkout for 30% off your first order. It's the best offer you can get. Limited time only. That's littlewordsproject.com/busy for 30% off your first order. You can also find Little Words Project at Target, Nordstrom, or one of their flagship stores. Thanks, Little Words Project. I feel like your dad is like constantly like, hey. Is that crazy? I do feel like every time there's been something like this, your dad has been like, hey.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He really comes through so strongly.
Yeah, it's interesting because, well, I mean, real talk, he didn't come through so strongly in my life. And also like, with the exception of ringing my doorbell on his way out of the earthly plane, which I truly believe, I would think I was nuts, except for Matt also heard it.
Thank
and
God.
Our dogs barked. So we all experienced that together. But like there were a number, I was talking to Theresa about the time she was on Watch What Happens Live. And I remember Andy saying like before, like maybe your dad will come and say something to you. And after he was like, sorry, your dad didn't come through. And I was like, well, that's how I know she's for real, because like, that's exactly what my dad would do in real life, is like maybe not show up.
Oh my God. That's, by the way, hilarious. And sad.
But then we had an experience with remember when Lizzo was on Busy Tonight and her psychic came with her?
Yeah. I was going to bring it up, but then I thought it would be rude to bring up another psychic.
To bring up another spiritual
medium in front of
So when
Theresa.
we were at Busy Tonight, Lizzo came to the show and she brought her psychic because like I guess we just gave off that kind of vibe that we would love a psychic.
She was not wrong.
She was not wrong. And we wound up putting her psychic on the show, and it was super fun. And we took like weird aura photos with you and Lizzo. Do you remember that? You got your auras taken.
Yeah, I have the pictures. What are you talking about? Of course I remember it.
But so anyway, Lizzo's psychic was so nice, and she's just like a regular lady.
Great.
And she was like, I feel so bad because I feel like I want to talk to everybody about like I'm getting like various messages for people and I want to talk to everybody about it, but I just haven't had the chance in the time that we've been here. Would it be okay if I came back on another day just to like talk to people that work here at the show? And we were like, yeah, of course. Like our Thursdays are like pre-production days and we're not making a show, so it's very casual. So she came back that week on a Thursday and just like sat and talked with the staff members, and everybody was like very emotional and very moved by everything. But I was like, I remember thinking like, I'm not going to even talk to this lady because like nobody ever comes through for me, like nobody. And she was like, so I was just walking by and she was like, hey, do you have like an Aunt Helen? And I was like, yes. And she said, okay. And then your grandmother is like a T? And I said, yeah, that's my grandmother's name was Theresa. And she said, they're from opposite sides of the family, correct? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay, they want me to tell you that they're like hanging out together. They know each other now and they like you. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. And she was like, it's kind of funny that they didn't say they love you. They said they really like you. And I was like, that's interesting to me because that's like a big deal for me that someone like everybody loves people. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
sure.
You can't help it. You love who you love, but it's a really big deal to me to make sure that people know that I like them.
Yes.
And I always wanted my kids to know that I like them. And besides loving them, I really like them and I enjoy being around them. And so I thought that was so interesting that she was like, they want you to know that they really like you and they hang out with each other. So that was like the first time anyone like came that I knew like came through to talk to me. But then, you know, maybe my grandmother, Theresa, was like, hey, Michael, you have to go talk to your daughter.
Right, because now he's all
like
over it.
Knocking on the door every time, which is nice. Yeah, that's good.
So funny. That's funny. I like it. I think he likes to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you know, he's a showbiz guy himself.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
I mean, my dad didn't work in show business, but he was a performer and an actor, like in local theater, a Mark Twain impersonator.
Come on. Like Val Kilmer. Oh.
So that's interesting. I'm sure he would get a big kick out of the fact that he's being talked about on a podcast. And
well, he knows, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
He's right here. He's here. Where is he? Somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Someday I hope that I get to communicate with him about how hilarious his funeral was. But that's a whole story.
Well, why didn't we do that today with Theresa?
I mean,
you didn't want to get into it.
It's not like, it's a maybe someday. Like everyone who's close in my life knows about why his funeral was slightly hilarious. But anyway, that's another time.
Okay.
Maybe for the book one day. Maybe
you got to do a book.
Maybe some helpful tips on what not to do at a funeral.
Maybe that's the name of your book. What not to do at a funeral. Guys, that's a fucking great book title. I'm sorry. Write it down. What are you doing? Put it in your notes app.
It's recorded. It's recorded on this.
Well, you might forget though, and then you won't remember that it was this. What Not to Do at a Funeral by Caissie St. Ange, New York Times bestseller. Anyway, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm so mad at myself because so let's just call it Turkey Day, right? Because Thanksgiving's bullshit. Mm-hmm. But I truly was like, this is the year. I say this every year. Like, I'm gonna get started early and cook some dishes ahead of time. And,
Well, it's Tuesday. You've got 2 days.
I mean, but I was talking 2 weeks. I wanted 2 weeks.
Why?
Because I just want to roll out of bed on
No, I love a
Turkey
crunch
Day.
time.
I know you love crunch time, but oh man, I haven't done a fucking thing. We went shopping last night. The turkey's not even going to defrost by the time it needs to go in the oven. It's not.
No. Yes, it will.
It said it needed 1 day per 5 pounds, and we're out of time. It's going to have to go in there.
Put it in some lukewarm water.
I'm going to put it in the hot tub.
Put it in the hot tub. It's insane. That is truly insane.
Oh, and I might also, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I wanted to run this idea by you.
Yeah.
I might wash the vegetables in the top rack of my dishwasher.
I don't think so. With soap?
No, just like a rinse, like top rack rinse.
I don't know. Can you do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna try it though.
But don't you have Rinse Aid already in your system? We do.
Probably not.
I don't know if you might though. There's residual detergent always. That's gross. It's gonna be gross. It'll taste gross. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Listeners, have you ever washed vegetables in the top rack of your dishwasher?
A baseball hat, yes. Vegetables, no.
All right.
It's not hard to wash vegetables. What's going on?
There's just so much to do. And I like want to do, I want to like set it and forget it and like be able to go do something else. How about my washing machine?
No, then they'll just be destroyed. What kind of vegetable? What are we talking about?
Like so many carrots, parsnips.
Well, carrots.
Yams,
Carrots. Do you peel? You peel the carrots.
Potatoes.
You're not washing.
But I wash them first because
why?
Because like I don't want to.
Who cares?
Get like
no. You peel them and then rinse them, like just a little rinse.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I don't know, man.
That's my move. That's my move.
I'm just trying to make things easier on myself by making things harder on myself.
Yeah, I think you are. I actually think that whatever you're suggesting is insane and you need to stop. Just because like it will like something will backfire and then all of a sudden it's like, and then Caissie's like, dishwasher exploded.
Yeah.
And no, you don't want to do that. Just like take it easy. And also like, just know that it's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a day.
I will say.
It's just a dinner.
I have contemplated asking my family, like, do you guys just want to eat it on Friday? Do you just want to do it on Friday? So that I could have like one more day to get ready.
See how the turkey goes.
See how it goes.
If it's not defrosted, maybe you just move it to Friday. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we got to get rid of, like, if we're getting rid of like Thanksgiving ideologically speaking as like a holiday celebrating our country and pilgrims or whatever the fuck whatever. Like, let's get rid of the idea that there's any pressure on a meal ever.
It's true.
Like, it's just a meal and like some of it's going to be great and like some of it might not work out. And like anyway it ends up on the table, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like we have had to let go of like the day, over the pandemic and everything. Mm-hmm. So I think like I'm having like a little bit of like a backlash to being like, it has to be like a thing and we're together. But also that being said, like we went shopping for groceries last night and it was very relaxed and like the most relaxed shopping that Matt and I have ever done. Like he kept commenting on it.
Are you having people over?
No, we're not having anyone over. We're just gonna cook for the four of us.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
That's great.
Eli's not going to be my help. Maybe that's why I'm feeling a little stressed. Eli's the most apt to help me in the kitchen because Matt will be working and Eli is house sitting, so he's not going to be there. I was like, really slick move getting a house sitting gig to take you out of being my sous chef. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I mean, I don't know if he knows how houses work, but you don't have to watch them all the time. When your house
he definitely knows that
because like he could just come over and help you.
Yes, but you know what I would say is that I would be doing the thing, like the lack of self-awareness thing, where I'd be like going to him being like, hey, can you help me chop up butternut squash right now? And he would like drop whatever he was doing to do it if he was home, like on my schedule and on my terms. So this would require like a little more planning, like he would come. So it's interesting, but it's also a good lesson for me that maybe everybody doesn't have to drop everything they're doing all the time to help me.
I don't need that lesson. I don't know.
Are you making anything? Are you going to cook a single dish? Or are you getting it all?
No, probably not.
You're just going to pick something up?
I don't know. Mark's making some. We're going to like a potluck. So we're our family as a family. So Mark's making some stuff. And then I might go over to my other friend's house for like dessert or something. I'll probably just like bring a bottle of wine. Yeah. And then I might stop by Emily's vegan, but probably not because the vegan birthday party food really wrecked me the next day.
Did it?
Yeah, it was not.
The vegan pizzas?
Wasn't pleasant for me.
Oh, no.
I have a sensitive little baby stomach.
Sensitive constitution.
I have it's just it's tough for me.
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like we covered like almost everything on the list. Stutz on Netflix.
It's amazing. Have you seen it?
I have.
I loved it.
Yeah. It's great. I think it's great. I think people should watch it. I have a personal, I don't even know if I can say this on the podcast. I know somebody horrible who goes to him.
I'm sure you know a lot of people.
I did watch it, and I think like he is fantastic and whatever. Like, he's great.
Yeah.
And like so much of it is so helpful.
Yeah.
And like I think that his way of framing things is really interesting.
We
or whatever.
should say Stutz on Netflix is a movie. And
it's a documentary that Jonah Hill made about
his therapist
that has helped him immensely in the last like decade.
Yeah. And it's really innovatively done.
Yeah.
And I found
Super
it really
interesting.
compelling and entertaining.
Yeah.
And the therapist is
amazing.
Amazing.
He's so cool.
And he's like unconventional.
Yes.
But that being said, one of his patients is terrible. Oh my gosh. It just made me have an epiphany. Like, wouldn't it be so great if we had like a regular therapy show for like people, that would be amazing.
Well, honey, I think that's what Dr. Phil was supposed to be.
Yeah,
and I think that that's what those talk shows were
meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that they are not that.
Yeah.
But I think, because, I don't disagree with you, but I think that like the voyeurism of shock television or whatever, reality TV stuff, like sort of took over.
It always corrupts.
So like even Ayanla, guys, even Ayanla fixed my life.
Yeah.
I think occasionally would trend toward
sensational
and like they would go for like the most outrageous things, but like the idea could almost be more like what Stutz is.
Yeah.
Which is like if it could just be more interviews with therapists, like talking head type things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I also think it would have to not hinge upon ratings.
A person.
I think it would
ratings.
Ratings.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because if you put something on daily television, it's going to become like a commercial venture. The thing that I liked about this documentary that Jonah Hill made is that I don't think he gave a shit if anyone ever watched it. It's so unassuming. It's literally like if you saw it in your Netflix queue, you'd have to make an effort to figure out what it was about. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know if it was a movie or a documentary or what.
I had heard about it from like a couple different people who had like immediately watched it, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's amazing!" So I knew what it was, and then I'm glad I watched it. I also think like so many of his ideas are very similar to like things that I learned in Hoffman or ideas and practices that like they have you sort of institute when you do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that like there's a lot of overlap of different theories and stuff, right?
Yes.
Like these are all like it's all in the same.
It makes sense.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah. But anyway, I know this is like a super hard time of year for a lot of people. And I think Jonah Hill's goal was to give people some tools to work with if they were struggling and they didn't have access to great therapy necessarily. And so if you don't have therapy, but you have Netflix, maybe check it out and see what you think. I was really glad that I watched it. And I found it enjoyable as well as informative. I really liked it.
I really liked it as well.
And I thought that doctor was adorable.
He was. He's really cute.
He's very sweet.
Well, what's your favorite? What are you looking forward to?
What did I do my best at?
Yeah.
Well, I sent out invites for
Your cookie party.
the
I got
cookie
them.
swap. I know you can't come, but I wanted to invite you
I
anyway.
appreciate it.
I never know. Is that going to make someone who can't come feel worse to be invited or better to be?
I like being involved. Thank you.
Well, Matt actually told me that I was saying I sent out invites for the cookie swap, and I think I had a couple wrong emails, so I have to correct those. But I was just saying, some people had RSVP'd yes immediately. Some people had looked at it and hadn't RSVP'd one way or the other yet, and other people hadn't even opened it. And Matt said that he RSVPs to any invite he ever gets so fast, like he's trying to defuse a bomb, because he's so honored to ever be invited to anything.
I love that.
So anyway, that's what made me feel like I should just invite people who, even if I know that they can't make it, because maybe they'll know at least that I love them and I wish that they could be there, even though I know that they can't. So anyway, cookie swap is happening. I don't know if I followed the traditional rules for a cookie swap, but we'll see how it goes. It's a little complicated because some people, I'm sure, are vegan, some people are gluten-free. I didn't ask people to bring copies of their recipes. I figure
You don't need to do that.
if you want a recipe,
I think that's overkill.
if you want a recipe, you'll connect with the person whose recipe you want.
I think that you can. Yes, I think that's right. I think you do ask people to bring what the cookie is,
Yes.
and what it has in it.
Yes.
But you can also just have pens, and little note cards there.
It'll be fine. We're not gonna hopefully harm anyone, but I love that, and I love the idea of my friends connecting. Sometimes I still get such joy in my heart when I see from these big Thanksgivings that we used to throw back in Connecticut, I still see people who became friends at one of those dinners, talking to each other on Instagram or whatever. And it always makes me so happy that they met at my house, that they came out to have a holiday with us. How about you? What are you doing your best at?
Right now, unclear. Did not do my best at packing. I will say that. My outfits are a mess, and I don't have anything. I don't even look right in Los Angeles anymore. It's just such a disaster. I feel adrift with my wardrobe here, and I'm really upset about it. But
you really need your Los Angeles closet.
I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Do you want me to put a storage shed in my yard for your things?
Well, I think your house is just too far from where I ever am.
It's true.
And I think I'm gonna have to figure something out. Emily has so many of my workout clothes.
Yeah.
Which is helpful here, so that but not that I work out anymore. Sorry guys, but I don't. But maybe I'll try. Maybe I'm gonna start again someday working out. But yeah, I need to figure something out, because this is I'm bummed every time I'm here. I'm like, what am I wearing?
Right. And you just wish you had wait, do you wish you had something different, or do you wish you had something that you left behind in New York?
I don't even know.
You don't know.
I need a capsule collection.
You do need a capsule collection.
You know what I'm doing my best at this week?
What?
Work. I'm doing really, I'm working.
Good.
On stuff.
Good.
Work, TV work. Show.
Good.
Working stuff. Guys, TV show work. Working and writing work. Oh my God. No, I'm doing my best at writing work creatively, coming up with breaking some story ideas and thinking about really focusing on what I want to do next after Girls Five Eva.
Yeah.
Because hopefully it'll be we're going to do these episodes for Netflix, and maybe we'll get to do one more year of episodes for Netflix, which would be cool. But that would be amazing. That would be
beyond.
Yeah, it would be putting the whatever. The cherry.
Maybe the cherry on.
It'd be the cherry.
Izzy was trying to mime a cherry.
No, I was trying to mime
whipped cream,
and then you understood what I.
Cherry
you knew
was,
what I meant.
Yeah.
That so another season after this one would really be the cherry for me, but I'm focusing on like some work stuff and like what it is like really, I think for me creatively, I do best when I'm the most specific.
Yeah.
With myself about what it is that I want to do next and what I see and how I see it, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
And so I have like, I feel like I really know right now, like what I want to do next and how I want to do it and what it looks like, what it could be. So I'm focusing on that. And I feel like I'm doing a good job of that.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it when you're ready.
I can't wait to tell you.
But guys,
we love you.
We love you, and just hope that whatever you have going on tomorrow, because you'll be listening to this on Wednesday, is like the best thing for you. You know, whether it's you're with family or friends, or if you're taking time by yourself, or maybe if you wish you weren't by yourself, but you're using the time to do what's best for you. Just know that like we're with you and we're thinking about you too. Even though Thanksgiving is total bullshit, we are so thankful for you.
I think being thankful for things is always nice. Just not thankful for the fucked up way our country has taken from people.
Yes.
And continues to take.
Yes. Always thankful for you and
always thankful for you guys.
For your friendship and support and the time that you spend with us. And hopefully we got you through like washing some vegetables if that's what you were doing.
Do not put them in the fucking dishwasher, guys. I swear to God. I swear to God. I don't want to hear one person saying that they did it, please. I can't have that on my conscience.
Guys, we love you.
We love you.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.